What up, guys? Hope everyone's doing all right tonight. Just gonna go over a few things. Just getting off work, so listening to a little bit of music, seeing how things. There's some things I want to go over today. I want to see how those go. I may not look very happy. Probably gonna fucking blow up here in a second. With the veil down the disguise, burn the fear right out of your eyes. We're alien and slave. This is the world. Rushed in the veins of the broken machine. Everything's known with the edges of cane. This is the world we live in. No saviors coming to fix the sin. This is the world we live in, where shadows grow and lights grow. Hope y'all are doing alright tonight. This is the world we live in. No fingers coming to fix the sin. This is the world we live in, where shadows grow and lights grow down. This is the world we live in. No fingers coming to fix the sin. This is the world we live in. Walls wear crowns made of shattered glass. The hour is late, but time won't pass. Hope's a spark on a castle floor. Every door's locked, but there's still one more. One more. We live in. We live in. Walls wear crowns made of shattered glass. The hour's late, but time won't pass. Hope's a spark on a castle floor. Every door's locked, but we still one more. We got a bunch of stuff to go over tonight, so I'm going to be going over a bunch of shit. This is the world we live in. Wolves wear crowns made of shattered glass. The hour's late, but time won't pass. Hope's a spark on a gas. Suno's great, dude. It really is. Break the silence, tear the seams, drown the lies. It's a pretty good song. Like, considering it was a... What up, Scott Hotman? Good to see you, my man. Welcome in, bro. Hail to you too, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude. Rip the veil, tear the disguise, burn the fear right out of your eyes. I gotta say, like, this reminds me a lot of the kind of shit that I listened to when I was in, like, high school, in my 20s, you know. Suno can actually make some pretty cool music. I'm not gonna lie, dude. To the sky, no gods, no kings. The weight of truth is what freedom brings. Rip the veil, tear the disguise, burn the fear right out of you. Oh, and then it cuts off early. That's fucking bullshit. I'm doing good, Scott, man. I'm hanging in there, bro. You know, just got off of work. Slow as shit tonight. I got home. I was able to walk Charlie. You know, treat him like the fucking spoiled prince that he is. I hope you're doing good too, my man. You know, there's a lot of shit going on right now. So there's some stuff I want to cover. I got Abe's stream up right now, so I'm trying to keep that in the background and give him the watch hours and stuff, man, because, you know, I try to do what I can to support. But so everybody is all cheesed the fuck off about some dumb shit, which is
these leaked Telegram chats that young Republican groups have been involved in. Oh, dude, I totally get it. I totally understand, Scott. But these people are so fucking upset about these group chats that they saw where they were just using like gamer terms and being edge lords. And these people want to throw a fucking fit over this. They're tripping. Apparently, this is the biggest deal anyone has ever seen, right? And everyone's scared and everyone's freaking out. It doesn't matter when in a Reddit thread people talk about genociding conservatives. I don't give a fuck about TOS right now. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter when people talk about genociding conservatives. It doesn't matter when people talk about, celebrating the death of someone who was basically like the main voice for conservative people that are in college. That none of that shit matters. What matters is when people make edgy jokes about gas chambers. They use gamer terms and all this shit. It's all fucking bullshit. None of these people actually care about it. It's selective outrage, okay? So, here we go. A Politica report on October 14th, 2025, which was now yesterday, exposed thousands of private messages from a Telegram group involving leaders of young Republican chapters in states including New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont, spanning over 7 months. Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck, okay? The chats contain racist slurs against black people and LGBTQ individuals. Who cares? Anti-Semitic jokes, praise for Hitler, and violent fantasies about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. So, no one gives a fuck about any of this, by the way, right? The only people that care are the people who want to leverage this as political expediency. That's it. They don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. They've probably said all this shit on their own, especially the left. When we're talking about anti-Semitic rhetoric, the left has become so far and far and far and far more anti-Israel, which is based, by the way. I totally support that. None of them give a shit about anti-Semitic rhetoric, right? So Grok is pandering to Israel right now. The Young Republican National Federation condemned the content and demanded resignations, leading to the Kansas chapter's inactivation, while Democrats criticized it as evidence of extremism in the GOP youth wing, and some Republicans downplayed it as private jokes. That's exactly what it is. It's fucking private jokes. Nobody gives a fuck about any of this shit. No regular people do. Because, let's be real, regular people make these jokes all the fucking time, okay? None of them really give a fuck about any of this. And anybody who was ever in a Call of Duty lobby like 10, 12 years ago is going to downplay the fuck out of this. No one cares. It's not a big deal, right? So let's see what Morse has to say about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's show. Thank you all for...
Yes, exactly, Scott. All they give a fuck about is political expediency. That's it. They don't care about anything else. If they can hang on one subject to get their person in power, that's what they'll do. And there's people on the right who do the same fucking thing. Okay? I'm just saying.
Tuning in today, I am your host, Matt Morris. We are live right now on Rumble and on YouTube. Matt Morris TV is the name of the channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Folks, it is Tuesday, October 14th. Today, we have a very special show. We're going to do something a little bit different. Today, we're going to do something that we normally don't do. You see, today, we are actually going to be taking a look. We're going to be deep diving. Today's big talking point coming from the radical progressive left, coming from the far left. You see, right this very moment, almost every single Democrat, left-leaning individual, influencer, media outlet, they are all covering one specific story, which is what we are going to be talking about today as well. And that story is, just a couple hours ago, 2-3 hours ago, in fact, Politico, which is a left-leaning magazine, journal, website, Politico, they released what they are calling a bombshell report in which they spent months, 7 or 8 months, in fact, infiltrating a young up-and-coming Republican chat group, a Telegram chat. It's like a text message group in which there were several young up-and-coming Republicans. Politico cataloged everything these young Republicans were saying, and guess what, Mitch? Much to maybe no one's surprise, these young 20-something, some of them late teens, they were saying some inappropriate words. And so, of course, the Democrats, the far left, they all want all of us over here on the right to be clutching our pearls, freaking out, having a meltdown, as they currently are.
Because we have to be like they are, or we are not morally good. That's why. That's why. Because when people were celebrating someone's murder, we got mad. So when they get mad, we have to be as mad as they are. Even though they said, fuck you, when we said, that's kind of fucked up that you're going to dance on someone's grave.
And really the reason why they want us to have this reaction is because what they want most is to perpetuate, you guys have heard of it, it's called cancel culture. You might have noticed cancel culture isn't really doing so well these days. We kind of got over it. They want to bring it back. They want it to be alive and well. And really the reason why they want to bring cancel culture back is because they can use this as a bludgeon, as a tool, as a weapon with which to destroy the lives of every single person that they don't agree with. And so today, like I said, we are going to be doing something crazy. We are actually going to be intimately interacting here with what can only be described as a radically progressive hit piece, as a piece of radically progressive propaganda. And we're going to read through this. We're going to break it down bit by bit. And of course, don't worry, you guys are here with me. We're all here together. We are going to rip this thing apart, because I'm telling you, this is hot off the press. And this is as far as the radical progressives are concerned.
Exactly, Scott. Dude, they always piss and moan fucking constantly. That's all they have, is the pissing and the moaning, right? And that's what I see all of this that's going on today as. Everything going on right now is nothing more than the weeping and moaning and the gnashing of teeth. That's it. As we hear the sounds of scraping as they slide down the slide of irrelevancy, that's all it is. Just remember that. What's going on, Amagad? Good to see you, my brother. Welcome in, dude. Thank you for being here tonight. Just remember, it's very, very important to keep in mind. They don't care about any of these causes. Look, Trump signed the peace deal in Gaza. He gave Gaza back to Hamas. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Nothing that they say they stand for matters. It's all a virtue signal. It's all an element of weaponized empathy to be thrown back into your face. That's it. These causes, none of that matters. Look at what's her name? Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is. Do you think she's doing that because she cares about the people in Palestine? Or do you think she's doing that because there's a fucking camera in her face constantly? There's something to gain for it. There's Reddit karma. There's likes on Twitter. There's social media engagement in general. That's all this is. There's nothing else to it. That's all this is. If they got no praise, no affirmation, no validation online, they wouldn't do any of this. What up, Are We Not, man? Good to see you, man. How you doing? They wouldn't do a fucking thing if they didn't get constant validation. And most of these people just need to fucking touch grass. But the thing is, there's so many of them that look at each other with veneration. that when they see someone do things, they'll show up and they'll golf clap for them and they'll cheer when they really haven't done fuck all to begin with. She rowed a boat into Gaza to bring aid to people that would, and I say this in the most soft way possible, rape her until she put on a hijab. That's what we're dealing with. The need for validation from people who you don't even fucking know, who you've never met, who you don't care about, is so strong in this country that people will endanger their own lives just for a like on Facebook.
This is the biggest news in the world. They don't want us talking about anything else. They want us talking about this. Okay, well, you know what? We will. So, ladies and gentlemen, without...
Based, Amagad, people should focus on improving themselves and their local community before trying to fix the world. And they don't even really know what's going on in the world. Let's be very clear, okay? Like, we don't know how much aid people in Gaza are getting. We're only getting news clips. We're only hearing people say there's no aid coming. Does anybody actually know? No. We're relying on people telling us. And those people have been caught lying multiple fucking times. So let's just be real here. Spare me with the emotional weaponization, okay? I don't care about Gaza anymore. I don't care about Israel anymore, okay? Fuck all of these places. That's where I stand.
Further delay, we are going to get into this and break this down. Everybody, by the way, I have to say, please go ahead and bear with me. We're going to read through this entire article. We're going to break this down. We're going to touch base with what everybody is saying about this. We're going to...
Based, Amagad. Yeah, absolutely. Pretending. 100%. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. See, but the thing is, right? Like, everyone's got to be this special little fucking snowflake. They all have to be something big in the world, right? And today, in today's society, at least in the Western world, unfortunately, we've gotten to this point where your value is measured on how much engagement you get on social media. And that's fucking sad, by the way. And I'm not just talking about the left here. There are people on the right that do the exact same shit. It's pathetic. And I'm not even saying that I'm out here making big changes in the world. Or I want to be very clear about that. But my value, the way that I see myself and the way that I live my life is not governed by what other people's opinions of my life are. That's the pathetic thing. Please be very wary about all of these social media influencer, whether they're on the right or on the left. Please be very wary of them. I'm serious. Because they will all use you, your likes, your engagement, everything, to benefit themselves. And that's not even just like what someone would classify an influencer. There's a lot of people who just do it because they're that self-absorbed. And there's a lot of people like that out there right now. There's a lot of people who jump to the chance to be the next big right-wing or left-wing social media influencer. And they'll happily take money from places like Israel or Saudi Arabia or any of these foreign countries in order to benefit themselves and spread whatever the fuck message they're told to. Just be very weary of that. Please.
I'll rip this thing apart.
I'm just a regular fucking guy, okay? I'm a normal, lower class. I don't get money from fucking anybody except the people that come into the bar that I work at. I've worked my ass off trying to start businesses and I failed every time. Just being completely transparent, okay? I'm not making any money. Every opinion that I have is my fucking opinion. You can bank on that. And it always will be, by the way.
And by the way, this broadcast today, I think it's safe to say, is going to get increasingly spicy the longer the broadcast goes on. So everybody buckle up. Here we go. We're jumping right into the show, everybody. Thank you for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. This is the Politico hit piece right here. Exclusive. Published just a couple hours ago. Thousands of leaked messages show leaders of young Republican groups joking about gas chambers, slavery, and sexual assault in a private Telegram chat. Inside rising GOP leaders' racist chats obtained by Politico and spanning more than 7 months. Like I said,
Yo, $50 right now says it was someone who got kicked out of that organization that leaked all these chats. $50 fucking dollars says it right now. Right now. It's some cheesed off 20-year-old that they said, nah, dude, we're not with that. You're gone. And they went straight to Politico and sent them this. $50 right now. Promise you.
These Politico reporters, these investigators, they were embedded in this group. There was some blackmail in order to get these messages released, but here they are. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just break into this. Now, I've uploaded all the key images here into my own private document just because I don't want to give Politico any attention. So here's where we are. This is the title of their article. The title of the article is called, quote, I love
What up, Omni Future? Welcome in, dude. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you, man.
Hitler. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery.
That's a very good point, Omni. I didn't think about that. That's true, too. Yeah. I just, for 7 months, I feel like it would have happened a lot earlier. But that's an opinion. I don't know, right? I don't know how someone from Politico would work. Now, granted, they don't have any like in-person videos. They're not doing it legit like O'Keefe, right? They're doing it in fucking text chats. That's what it's always been. Remember the Iran leaks, the signal leaks, all these things that they fair, are we not, man? That's true. Yeah. Yeah, Omni, exactly. Yeah. Who all was actually like on the inside with this? That's a very good point. Because we just found out there was a bunch of fucking feds during January 6th.
And sexual assault. Because I can't say the other word. And then they include a series of images here. Like I said, folks, we're going to break all this down. Bear with me. Do not worry. Here are some highlights that they have extracted for us. Everyone that votes no is going to be in the gas chamber. When do we bring this out? You're giving nationals too much credit and expecting the Jew to be honest. Also, we are officially under consideration for a Trump endorsement. Great, I love Hitler. He also hates Jews. Listen, do you guys mind if I swear? Can I swear during this broadcast, or do I need to censor myself? I'm not going to say any of the crazy words, but they said, kick this B word. I'll try to not swear for you guys. They said, stay in the closet. F word. Okay, well, let's break down this article. Let's go ahead and go through this, ladies and gentlemen. New York, leaders of young Republican group throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to black people as monkeys and, quote, watermelon people.
Are they wrong?
That's terrible. and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about sexually assaulting their enemies and driving them to take their own lives, and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. Okay. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young...
Bro, this is a group of groypers, man. I'm just being honest. It's a bunch of groypers. That's all this is. Okay? Just reading the next sentence. It's a group of groypers. That's what it looks like to me.
Republicans vice chair used the word N-word, the soft A, not the hard R, and another form of the
groypers
N-word that is also not the hard R variation of the racial slur, more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to R-wording somebody as, quote, epic. Peter Gunta, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that, quote, everyone that votes no to this is going in the gas chamber. Gunta was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican Federation, the GOP's 15,000-member political organization for Republicans between age 18 and 40 years old.
Are you fucking serious? You're really going to take that seriously? Do you seriously think that was not a joke? He was saying everyone that doesn't vote for this guy to be the chair should go to the gas chamber. And this is getting blasted all over the fucking internet as some massive deal. I say shit like this to my friends, and they're left wing, and they don't give a fuck about this. That should show you where Politico's priorities are when it comes to optics, okay?
Now, I want to pause. I want to say something real quick, because already I need to address something I'm seeing in the live chat. I'm seeing some people say that these messages are fake, that Politico is faking these messages. Now, I just need to be honest. These messages are actually real in the actual article themselves, itself. They have photos of the people that were posting these messages. In fact, some of the people that were posting the messages actually have come out and apologized. They've issued their own public statements. These messages are actually real. Now, here's the argument. This is why today's show, like I said, is going to be controversial. Because today, on today's broadcast, I'm going to be making the argument that, frankly, I don't really give a shit. That's my argument, and I think we're going to go over that pretty well. But the messages are real. I just don't really care. And I'll give you a little bit of a tease here before we continue breaking down this entire dynamic, which we are being told we need to really care about. Listen, as a little bit of a preface or a forward, before we get into all of this, I'm just going to say, if the far left wants us on the right to police our speech, perhaps they should consider policing their violence. In this country, we don't exactly have a problem of young right-wing conservatives going around killing people, attacking people, blowing things up, assassinating their political opposition. That seems to be a left-wing problem. We don't have any right-wing terror groups assaulting ICE officers and beating the shit out of journalists.
And throwing rocks at cops, and throwing piss bottles at cops, and burning cop cars, and burning self-driving electric cars, and smashing windows, and looting stores, and spraying graffiti on buildings. Give me a fucking break. Let's just be real for a second. All right. This kid is a kid, okay? He says, I'm going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers. He's talking about a youth conservative movement. Never Lucky Rubber Ducky. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you, my man. Welcome in, bro. I appreciate you being here. We are talking about a group of 21 to 22-year-old edgelords who are just fucking around in chat. they're not even saying anything worthwhile. Even if they drop the N-word, even if they drop the F slur, right? I would just say it if I was on Rumble, but I'm not on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. So I have to go with what I go with. Maybe I should start streaming on Rumble. Be a lot different stream on Rumble, let me tell you. Anyway.
We don't have that problem. This is not something right-wing people do. This is a left-wing violence problem we have. The entire left-wing establishment has turned a complete and total blind eye to the ongoing radical far-left violence that is still happening in this country at this very moment. But you expect me, Mr. far-left radical, Mr. Democrat, you expect me to care about jokes that a bunch of 20-something young adults, some of them are teenagers, are making in a private group chat that you infiltrated to try to blow up their spot. You expect me to get upset about that? If you want us to police our speech, why don't you try policing your cities? Why don't you try policing your illegal aliens? Why don't you try policing Antifa, all of the domestic terrorists?
That's a good point.
Why don't you try policing anything? Why don't you try policing members of your own party that are engaging in violent rhetoric? We all saw, listen, Charlie Kirk would have turned 32 today. Today's his birthday. Today he received from President Trump the Presidential Medal of Freedom. God bless his soul. He was assassinated by a member of the far left. If you want us to police our speech, you should consider policing your violence. You want to talk about speech? How about for the last 4 weeks, I have seen hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of members of the far left that have been celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, that have been wanting more death. They've been wanting more violence. They've been wanting more political assassinations.
Okay, so let me be honest here, right? And this is the most like infuriating part of all this. So this organization, Young Republicans, they came out on Twitter and disavowed all these messages and said they demand that those involved step down immediately. Fuck you. Fuck you, okay? Maybe the Israel money is that good, okay? That's probably what it is. But I'm telling you, this is fucking bullshit peanuts compared to what we've been seeing over the past 9 months. I mean, it hasn't fucking stopped. Let's just be honest. I don't give a fuck what people say anymore. I had a real spicy thing to say yesterday where I said, if somebody disrespects my Christian faith, wouldn't I feel bad? No. People have the right to say whatever the fuck they want to say. Say it. It's not going to change my relationship with Christ and God. It shouldn't change anybody else's. Why does that matter to me? That's between them and God. It's not my place to be the fucking censor and to go out and tell people you can't say that. Fuck that. It's my job to be a representation of what Christ does in my life, okay? I don't shoot drugs anymore. My life isn't falling apart anymore. I'm a much more responsible adult now. I can have true and genuine relationships with people now. That's what Christ and God does in my life. And that's what I have testimony for. But nowhere in the Bible does it say I need to go out and I need to tell people what they can and cannot say about my faith. I'm sorry. Agree or disagree. I don't care. I'm just being honest with you. And that's why I can happily say, fuck Israel, because they're totally fine trashing my Messiah. They're totally fine blaspheming my God. Okay? They don't give a fuck about what I believe. But you say one thing about, hey, maybe it wasn't actually 6 million people, and you get fucking canceled on the internet. So fuck you. Okay? I don't give a shit what you have to say. That's the true test of faith. When someone can disrespect and deny and depose the things that you believe right to your face, and you go, fuck you, I don't care what you have to say. That's what the left doesn't have. That's why they need to censor. Because the second you have a good argument for the things that they believe in, you need to get banned. People don't need to hear what you have to say. That's why they need to censor.
How about if you want me to talk about these young or to condemn these young...
Base, Scott, I'm not my brother's keeper. Exactly. You can say what you want until it's something they don't like, but when we don't like it and pressure them, it's bad. We just can't win. No. Well, that's the thing, though, bro. They can try to pressure, but that shit's not working anymore, Never Lucky. It's not. No one gives a fuck when they're trying to censor. That's the thing, right? All this political bullshit that Young Republicans is doing by disavowing all these messages and stuff, that's a sign of weakness. It is weakness. Like Trump. Sorry to say it. Here I am, though. Trump has been weak. The reason he's not actually fulfilling all of his campaign promises right now is because he's weak to the concept of optics. That's what it is. That's why there aren't politicians being lined up in handcuffs and sent to fucking jail. Because they deserve it and we all know it. That's why we're not seeing literal mass deportations of all these illegal aliens that have been here for fucking decades now. That's why. Because it's not, that's the thing, right? It's not the words that matter. Censoring the other side doesn't give you shit. It doesn't win anything. Actions are what win. It's what I've been saying this entire time. Now isn't the time to censor. It's not the time to start a war. It's not the time to do all the bullshit. Now is the time to activate politically. That's it. If you want to win, you fucking take victory and you pry it from the hands of your enemy. That's what it is. And this fucking pussy bullshit is not winning us anything.
Conservatives making jokes in a private group chat. Maybe you should condemn some of the violence and actually try policing something. Now let's keep on reading here, because this is the very beginning. We have a lot to talk about, folks. Today is going to be a big day. Quote, the article goes on to say, I'm going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. 2 members in the chat responded, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. And everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. When do we start the bullying? We have 3 solid people who can have them want to jump. If they vote for us, why would they be gassed? When do we... Okay, so they're just... I've got to say something here. Can I say something here? Has anybody here ever either been a young man? Or has anybody here been the parent of a young man? Maybe you're a woman. Have you ever raised a young man? Maybe I hate to dismiss this, but there is a certain thing, as President Trump said a couple years ago, he said locker room talk. If you've ever spent time around young men, this is kind of just how young men talk, especially these days on the internet. Especially if you're a 19-year-old, 20, 21-year-old young man on the internet. This is just kind of young male rhetoric, even before the internet existed. This is just kind of how they've, and by the way, for better or for worse, you can make an argument for worse. This is kind of how young men talk. In fact, I'll tell you something, as I was putting the show together earlier today, I saw people liking some of the tweets I made about the show, some of my comments on this entire dynamic, and I saw so many women, actually women that are following my Twitter page. I click on the profile, and it says mom of 2 boys, mom of 3 boys, mom of 2 boys. I've got 3 sons. I'm looking at the profiles of some of the women, their mothers that are clicking my profile, liking the tweet, and it says mother of 2 boys in the profile, and it's like, okay, yeah, I know. Okay, you know, you're a mom. You've got 2 boys that are 19 or 20 years old. You know, you know how they talk. And so here we go. I'm going to keep reading through this. The exchange is part of a trove of Telegram chats obtained by Politico spanning more than 7 months of messages.
Yes, Scott, and I agree. You should never trash God, right? but it's not my place to do that. And God will have his way. God's will be done. Not will it be done, not should it be done. God's will be done. That's it. I don't have control over that. I'm not the one who should be out here censoring people. No one told me, gave me that distinction, gave me that badge, told me I was in charge of that. Bottom line. People can say whatever the fuck they want. That's why I hang with Dusty. Because he'll say whatever he wants, and I'll say whatever the fuck I want back. And we have a mutual respect there.
Just among young Republican leaders in New York, Kansas, Arizona.
Sasquatch, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you, man. How you doing today? Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Glad you're here, dude. Glad you're here.
And Vermont. The chat offers an unfiltered look at how a new generation of GOP activists talk when they think no one is listening. Wonder how members of the far left talk when no one is listening.
Ha! That's a good fucking point, isn't it? You ever see all the fucking Discord chats and shit between all the people who moderate video games, or they're the community managers of video game companies? You ever seen those chats? Huh? Yeah, I didn't see those.
I wonder how members of
Right, exactly, Sasquatch. I'm sorry that happened, Amagad. I didn't see any of those, by the way. But yeah, Sasquatch, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, even if you like, and that's the thing, right? So where I'm at with it is, even if you take it seriously, you need to decide what's worth your emotional energy. Like, if someone is saying shit about Jesus that I find abhorrent, is that worth my emotional energy? Because at the end of the day, and this is like, I truly believe this, that's between them and God. That's not between them and me. I'm not the middleman to live vicariously between Jesus and another person. You know? I have my direct connection. It's changed my life in multiple ways that I will always be grateful for. But it's not up to me to be selectively outraged when my friends all talk shit about atheists and how they believe nothing created everything. But then when atheists talk shit about Jesus, I can get all pissed off. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I have to look inward and look at what I have control. I mean, it's the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, which is other people's beliefs and opinions and things that they say. The courage to change the things I can, which is the way that I react to all of those things. And the wisdom to understand the difference between those. It's as simple as that.
Of Antifa talk in their private group chats. I wonder. Because we know how they behave in public. I wonder what they're saying in their private group chats, all these members of the far left.
That's weird, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's YouTube, dude. YouTube, you know.
Left. Curious. The article goes on to say, 2,900 pages of chats shared among a dozen millennial and Gen Z Republicans between early January and the middle of August chronicle their campaign to seize control of the National Young Republican Organization on a hardline pro-Donald Trump platform. Many of the chat members already work inside the government or party politics, and one serves as a state senator. I mean, hell, I've seen how these members of the far left talk on Reddit.
Yeah.
I'm expected to be mad and super frustrated.
Yeah, dude, they talk about this shit openly on fucking Reddit, right? Where's the national outrage about that? There is none. No one gives a fuck. Politico's not writing fucking articles about that. Like, let's be honest here. See, there's two ways. I put up two hands of two, but there's two ways to react to this. You can either oh shit. Oh, you sent in a dono? My bad, brother. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry. Hold on. I got to give you your ups for it, bro. That's huge. Sorry. I got to pull up my channel cash out. Oh shit, dude. Amagad with the $50. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated, man. That's fucking incredible. Thank you, Amagad. Hey, Lady Liberty's in the chat for Amagad. Hold on. I gotta give my boy his Lady Liberties. Thank you very much, dude. That is much appreciated, my man. Thank you so much, bro. I haven't forgotten the Lady Liberties, man. Trust me. It's been a while since we've been doing those. I gotta pull up YouTube and another channel. Hold on, give me just a sec. I'm giving Amagad his Lady Liberties. Thank you, brother. It's that I fucking appreciate that so much, bro. Thank you, dude. You're an absolute legend. I hope you realize that, bro. Thank you. It means a lot, helps a lot. Dude, you're an absolute legend. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Jared Speaks, what's going on, dude? Good to see you, my man. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. No, Amagad, it's all good, bro. I'm glad you're here, dude. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, so there's no national outrage for the way that people talk about shit on Reddit. And like, I can't be the only one that's on Reddit, right? I'm not. There's no fucking way that I'm the only one here that's on Reddit. We all see this shit, okay? Now, granted, I will say this. Reddit has been a little less, like, micromanaging on people who have conservative beliefs as of recently, especially, so, like, I'm in the R Birmingham chat, and the Birmingham chat is not friendly to left-wing values as much, right? Like, they are, but they're not as friendly, right? So that's one thing I do want to say is moderation on Reddit has definitely slowed down and hasn't been like as crazy recently, but this shit still goes on. It's been going on for years. So fucking spare me the pearl clutching, okay? Seriously. It's ridiculous that people would even have like the fucking balls to act like this is some insane newsworthy story. Just being real with you, okay? It's fucking crazy.
We're upset over this. And listen, this is an infiltrated private chat amongst young conservatives. I've seen how the left talks on Reddit. In fact, I've looked at Reddit. I've seen Redditors talking about trying to kill me. I seriously, you go.
Wouldn't doubt it.
There's Redditors trying to talk about, you know, celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, trying to kill me. I've seen that. I've gotten threats. Trying to kill Asmongold. We've seen it all. We've seen it all.
Asmongold gets it the worst. And you know what's crazy? He's not even a right-winger. Asmongold believes in the concept of universal health care, universal basic income. He believes that, you know, now granted, he believes in universal basic income from the perspective of if you, or like eventually AI and automation is going to take over to the point where that's going to be the only option because there's not going to be enough jobs for people to support their families. But I don't necessarily believe that. Okay? Like, maybe, you know, 150, 200 years down the future when technology has gotten to the point where you have robot servers, robot coal miners, robot lithium miners, robot, you know, literally fucking everything. And maybe that's going to be the case later on down the road. if that's the case, that's pretty fucking sad because it's going to cause a massive collapse. But in the meantime, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
And I need to be super upset about this, though. This is very concerning. Together, the messages reveal a culture where racist, anti-Semitic, and violent rhetoric circulate freely, and where the Trump era loosening of political norms has made such talk feel less taboo amongst those positioning themselves as the party's next leaders.
Don't give a shit. Don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourself. I hope you're clutching your pearls and your knuckles turn white and you feel really good when you get your likes on fucking your updates on Reddit and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all this. I hope you feel really good about it because the regular people in this country don't give a fuck about any of this. You got to understand something. When you see some leftist post some bullshit and they get like 10 to 15,000 likes on it, but yet they got over 1 million views, that's because people saw it and kept scrolling. They didn't give a fuck about it. It's the same with these like fake right-wingers online that are incredibly pro-Israel that will literally die on the fucking Jew sword so, you know, they can get their checks from, you know, the 6-point star flag, and they can continue to kill people in Gaza, and they can continue to bomb other countries and then call on us and yank the leash when they've gotten themselves into some trouble. All of those people, they don't give a fuck about anything but validation. Everything Israel does today revolves around validation on social media. That's why there's such a hard push from all these fake right-wingers. That's what it is. Okay? Israel relies on these massive social media influencers to push their narratives, to support their causes, to do everything and say everything that they want them to. And that's why they pay the big bucks. But the thing is, it's not working anymore. It's not. You know, there's this thing. It's not called the Great Recognizing. I forget exactly what it's called, but there's a lot of people in this country that are starting to see the relationship that we have with this New Jersey-sized country over in the Middle East is very unhealthy to the American people. I just had like an incredibly pro-Israel guy on the stream yesterday, and he was spouting all that shit. Okay? Now, granted, seems like a good enough guy himself, right? And like, I will be very clear. It's not just, I'm not saying all Jewish people are bad, because there are very good Jewish people out there, but the state of Israel can go fuck itself. And I will say that forever. And you know who else can go fuck themselves? Slums. Because they fuck kids and animals. Both of them can go fuck themselves. Both of them. They're both threats to our country. The problem is, only one of them has direct and over-encompassing political influence.
251 times. Mixed into formal conversation about whipping votes, social media strategy, and logistics, the members of the chat slung around an array of slurs, which Politico is publishing to show how they spoke. Epithets like the F word, the homophobic slur, retarded, and the N word with a soft A, not a hard R, appeared more than 251 times.
And it's pretty crazy because, like, I say retarded all the fucking time, and YouTube doesn't give a shit. And I'm grateful for that, right? I wish the F slur was okay. Now, granted, hard R N-word, I can understand why that would be bad, especially on somewhere like YouTube, because it's just so accessible to a lot of younger people. If I was on Rumble, man, this would be a lot different stream, let me tell you.
Well, I have never heard of a young man saying the F word or calling somebody retarded or saying the N word. Good Lord. I'm 31 now. When I was 20, I most certainly never said any of those words, ladies and gentlemen. I would have never. We'll keep reading here.
Shit, I still say them today. I don't want to hear none of that. You know what I mean? Like, when I was 20, it was a lot worse. I was in the old school Call of Duty Black Ops 2 lobbies on Xbox 360. You think we didn't say some heinous shit back then? Bro.
In one instance, Walker, who at the time was a staffer for Ort, talked about how a mutual friend of some in the chat, quote, dated this very obese Indian woman for a period of time. Ginter responded that the woman, quote, was not Indian. Well, she just didn't bathe often, said Samuel Douglas, a state senator from northern Vermont and the head of the state's Young Republicans, replied Gunta.
What a legend, dude. What a fucking legend, bro. See, like, this is the thing. When you're just dicking around in some private chat, you'll say whatever the fuck you want. And for this to get blasted online and to be made out to be some kind of a big deal shows how fucking weak our society has gotten. I'm serious. This is fucking piss, okay? This is nothing.
In a separate conversation, Gunta shared that his flight...
No, Jared. It wasn't the first 50 words I heard. It was the first 50 words I said.
In a separate conversation, Gunta shared that his flight to Charleston, South Carolina, landed safely. I'm sorry, there's something in my eye. I apologize. Everybody. Then he offered some advice for his fellow young Republicans. If your pilot is a she and she looks 10 shades darker than someone from Sicily, just end the flight there. Scream the no-no word. These conversations are incredibly...
That's pretty funny, dude. Come on, man.
I cannot believe that these young men would be posting this.
That's so dumb. This is such a fucking nothing burger, dude. From the words of CNN, this is an absolute nothing burger, man. Jared Speaks says, LOL, same brother. It was good times indeed. And it was all in good fun. It's not like we were doing it to be racist asshats. We were all douchebags together. Exactly, dude. And they'd call me a cracker, and then we'd win the match. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it was words. It was sounds you make with your mouth. That's all it was. People had thicker skin back then, I guess. And that was like 15 years ago, bro. It's not like it was a fucking lifetime ago. Dude, I was about to go on a little tirade there, but like, I'm going to stay safe with TOS. So we'll just say a lot worse things have happened to people for a lot lesser reasons. And today, this society has gotten so fucking weak and pathetic that now this is news.
The article goes on to write, the private rhetoric isn't happening in a vacuum. It comes amid a widespread coarsening of the broader political discourse and as incendiary and racially offensive tropes from the right become increasingly common in public debate. Now, I want to add something in here. I'm 31.
Good, by the way. That's all I got to say. Good. Good. Let's keep this going. Let's get some of the most offensive language possible normalized to where no language on any platform, unless you're actually calling for people to be physically hurt. Let's get all of that normalized. So maybe Yes, exactly, Scott. Yeah. Yeah. Life's tough. Put on a fucking helmet. And if it's that bad to hear a word, a sound you make with your mouth, get some earplugs while you're at it. Because I'm sure everyone in chat right now can agree. Life is going to whoop your ass way more than any fucking words will. I can fucking promise you that. It's whooping on me right now. And I'm not a victim to that, by the way. I caused my own issues. And maybe if people were a little tougher, they could have some self-awareness and look at themselves and see, maybe I caused my issues and it's not the big bad rich man.
Maybe I had a unique experience because you folks know that I am from the Portland, Oregon area. For a time, I went to Portland Public Schools. I went to university in Portland, Oregon. This is the most progressive place in the entire nation. I have spent, frankly, my entire adult life as a white man being blamed for everything. I was taught up until I was 22 or 23, whenever I was done with university, I was taught for my entire life that I, as a white man, am responsible for every single terrible thing throughout all of human history. That I, as a white man, I'm effectively Satan incarnate. I am irredeemably demonic, and that I have ancestral and generational guilt just by nature of being born a white man. I'm just gonna be honest here. I don't really have much sympathy when other people are having jokes made about them or other groups. Listen, I'm kind of fresh out. I'm fresh out of shits to give. I just kind of don't care a whole lot. Okay, so what? Deal with it. Hey, welcome to my life. Hey, someone's making a joke, a racial stereotype. Guess what? I was taught that I was Satan.
What about my skin color makes my gas cheaper, makes my groceries cheaper, makes my electric bill cheaper, makes my rent cheaper, makes me make more at work? None of it. None of it makes shit easier for me. I'm so fucking tired of this. I've been poor basically my entire fucking life. And I've been white, guess what? My entire fucking life. And that's not my decisions entirely. Like now it is. Yeah, I have no problem admitting that. But when I was a kid, the fuck am I supposed to do? Get a job when I'm in middle school? No. This is all a bunch of bullshit. I don't feel any guilt, any responsibility for what people that are not me did in a time when my great-grandfather wasn't fucking alive, okay? None. It's not my responsibility. You have some shit that you're dealing with. Maybe your parents should probably sack the fuck up and take responsibility for themselves. Maybe they shouldn't live off the government. It's that simple. I have none responsibility for anything I did not do. But I will take responsibility for the things I do. And that's it. What the fuck else do you want from me? Am I supposed to go out into the streets and like bow down at every person of color because they're potentially not even great-great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, whatever the fuck it is, dealt with some shit that I had nothing to do with, that my family had nothing to do with? My family, half of my family's from Cuba, so they're Spaniard. They're not even from here. The other half came here on Ellis Island in the late 1800s. None of my family had shit to do with slavery. I don't have any fucking responsibility for that. Anyway, sorry.
I was taught that I was Satan. So you were hearing a joke about burritos or being a stinky foreigner. Yeah, I guess you're just going to have to deal with that. Whatever. Don't exactly care. we'll continue reading. Last month, Trump posted an artificial intelligence generated video that showed House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero beside Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, whose fabricated remarks were about trading free healthcare for immigrant votes. A false, long-running GOP trope. By the way, that's not a false trope. That actually is reality.
That's exactly what's going on. Are they joking?
What they are doing. Literally, that is literally what they are doing. That is not a false trope. And also, for the record, it was a funny video. I laughed.
Notice how they don't say it's fake that they want health care for immigrants. It said that that their remarks were fabricated about trading free health care for immigrant votes. It has nothing to do with the votes. What it has to do with is giving them health care so they'll stay here and get counted as part of the population, because they already know there's another census coming. And don't mean to break it to you guys, there's another census coming, okay? And when that next census comes, that next census is not going to be counting these fucking illegal immigrants. And when it doesn't count them, there's going to be a lot less power in Congress, a lot less House seats, a lot less electoral college votes. So they want to get free health care for these people as quickly as fucking possible. So they'll stay here. And when there's no benefits left for them and they all dry up and they have to go out and get jobs in places that won't hire them and they start to starve, they're going to go, fuck this. I want to go back home where I could actually feed my family, and they're going to self-deport. That is what is happening right now.
Sombrero meme has been widely used to mock Democrats as the government shutdown wears on. Now, we have some older members in the audience. I mean, hell, I'm old enough to remember this. Quite literally, every single comedy movie ever made prior to the year 2012 had a bunch of these words and a bunch of these jokes and racial stereotypes and tropes in them. So just to put this into perspective, like
Dave
trust me,
Chappelle,
go back and watch any single Adam Sandler movie, or I can't think of any other comedians. Go watch any comedy movie that was put out in 2009 or 2005 or 2000. Go watch Anchorman. Go watch whatever. All of these movies are going to have the same type of jokes and the same type of words. This is comedy up until 2012, at which point the entire country was flipped on its head. And so, just for the record here, we are now in 2025 in the business of destroying young adults' lives because they have the same sense of humor that literally the entire nation had 12 years ago. Really? Yeah. We're not doing that. Yeah, give me a break. How about no? How about no?
Fuck that.
How about no?
Yeah.
In his 2024 campaign, Trump spread false reports of Haitian migrants eating pets, and at one of his rallies, welcomed comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who called Puerto Rico a, quote, floating island of garbage, and joked about black people carving watermelons on Halloween.
So, in case y'all don't know, Puerto Rico is covered in these massive landfills because they have a serious issue with getting rid of their garbage. So there's massive landfills that overflow base. Damn it, God. Thanks, Obama. Exactly. There's massive landfills that overflow with trash because they don't know how to get rid of all their garbage. Because they're poor as fuck. And every time some hurricane comes through and wipes their power out and takes out a bunch of buildings on the island, they don't know how to fucking deal with it. It sets them back another 15 years. So when he said that, it was just a joke. What up, K2? How you doing, man? But when he said that, it was just a joke. But he was actually referring to a real problem they have in Puerto Rico. And you know the crazy thing is, Puerto Rican support for that went through the roof. The only people who were actually mad about that were a bunch of fucking white liberals who had to clutch their pearls because this thing was so terrible that he said. But Puerto Ricans didn't give a shit. The only people that gave a shit were fucking liberals. Overwhelmingly white liberals.
Wow, that's just terrible. Whoa, hey, that's super not funny. That's totally not funny. Okay, listen, yeah, wow. We need to destroy the lives of these young individuals. We need
Hey, Three Amigos, that was a good one, dude. Good call out, Scott, for sure.
to destroy the lives of these young 20-something conservatives. In fact, we should deport them right out of the country. It's unbelievable. So, folks, this is what these individuals said. This is what these young conservatives are now in trouble for saying, making these types of jokes. So, in response to this is the organization at hand that we are talking about today. It is called the Young Republicans National Group, and they have released an official statement. The official statement says this: we are appalled by the vile and inexcusable language revealed in the Politico article published today. Such behavior is disgraceful, unbecoming of any Republican, and stands in direct opposition to the values our movement represents. Those
Fucking
involved
weak.
must immediately resign from all positions within their state and local young Republican organizations. We must hold ourselves to the highest standard of integrity, respect, and professionalism.
And you just killed your fucking movement. I hope you realize that. That is the weakest and most pussy paper made ass shit I have ever seen. While we have people dancing on someone's grave and then running defense for it, the second some edgelords in a group chat get their shit blasted on the internet, you're going to run tail tucked. This is why the Republicans in this country haven't done shit until 8 years ago. This is why. This shit needs to get fucking wiped, son. I'm telling you. This is the most paper-made ass pussy bullshit I have ever seen. They had two choices here. Act like a bunch of bitches, or so fucking what? Deal with it. And obviously they chose the former. I hope this organization, Young Republicans, loses all support. I'm serious. Fuck them. This is the most cucked pussy bullshit I have seen from a Republican organization in a long time. We ain't fucking liberals. Okay? If anything, and you may agree or disagree with this, we should take a page out of their book with the way they reacted to the Kirk murder. Stand on what the fuck your people say. Back your people. Am I wrong?
So we are kicking these young conservatives to the curb. We're ostracizing them. We are publicly destroying their lives because they had the audacity to make jokes in 2025 that everybody was making in 2012. The jokes they made today were, sorry, they were 13 years too late. You should have made those jokes in 2012, kids. You had the audacity to make those very same jokes in 2025.
Fuck
now your
that.
lives are ruined. Sorry. This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely insane. They've been kicked to the curb by the board of directors of the Young
K2, what's the third option? I gotta hear what you gotta say about this, bro.
Republican Federation. Pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
I want to read some of the comments here. I want to show you what some people are saying here. I said pathetic. Jasmine Keith says nobody cares, and if they do, they are lying. This is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Who gives a crap? Man up.
Yes. Based.
Democrats running for attorney general and other high-level positions are calling for their opponents' children to be executed, and the Democrats are standing by them. You want to expel young Republicans for edgy humor? Go F yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves. That's
right. I want
right.
to take a look at what some more people had to say about this. I'm just kind of, checking the temperature here. Let's see what everybody has to say. There needs to be a unified message that this stuff doesn't work anymore. We don't care about people making jokes in private.
Nobody does.
Us dead. They have no moral high ground to stand on. We have no reason to listen to their whining.
Based.
Is that true?
Yes, correct. That is the truth, baby. That's the motherfucking truth, okay? No one gives a fuck about this optics political bullshit anymore. They re-elected Trump. I mean, he's literally the biggest optic hand grenade you could possibly throw into the political system, and he won the popular vote. Let's be real. All of this fake, feelings-led bullshit that these fucking pussies think matters to people have no fucking bearing on the public opinion anymore. None of it is winning hearts and minds. I'm sure everyone... Oh, yeah, K2. Yeah, that's fair. That is option 3. We'll see. We'll see what technology brings. Like, it's just, let's just let's try to keep Elon Musk as our friend, because there's always a possibility. They just got to go down to Austria or Argentina and get his brain, right? He's the one that Javier Milei's been talking to, apparently, because Javier Milei fixed their economy. Anyway.
True. Never, never, never apologize ever to these people.
Based.
True.
Yes, dude. Why the fuck would you?
Get used to it. This is the world that you made.
Yeah.
Somewhat true.
What the fuck?
We don't give a shit. We stopped giving a shit when you shot a dude in the neck in front of his kids and have a dude actively running for office after fantasizing about killing children.
Yeah, dude.
That is true.
I mean, it's insane.
True. They must think it's still 2016. No one cares, Politico. Zoomers don't give a single F about your thought policing.
By the way, this is something that I really want to bring up, and I think is very important to bring up, okay? So there's all these polls coming out with all these Zoomers and the way that they think politically and yada yada and all this, and like, we got to understand something, okay? And I think about this even from my own generation, the millennials. I don't know anybody around my age range that has ever taken a poll in their entire life. I've lived in 2 high population cities, never met one fucking person, okay? Just to be completely real with you. So if I, as a millennial who comes after Gen X, who were a bunch of like punks and shit, who were more left wing than we were, right? If I come from the millennial generation and I don't fucking know anybody, how many Zoomers that aren't like terminally on Reddit and Blue Sky do you think are actually taking polls? Who the fuck takes a poll? That's the thing about polls, guys. Polls only judge the opinion of people who actively take polls. And who the fuck takes a poll? Okay, Jared speaks. I've actually taken one poll over the phone, funny enough. It was the year I was enlisted, the year Trump was elected, 2016. Okay, fair. Fair. Now I know one person who has taken one poll. Now, how many fucking polls get thrown in our faces every goddamn day? I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
True. Cassandra McDonald. Anyone disavowing these people is a weak loser.
Yeah,
a Virginia
100%.
Democrat Attorney General candidate fantasized about killing conservative children across the country.
Yep.
Don't apologize or disavow shit. This is about where I am. Listen, like I said, if you want us to speech
Fucking
police
own it, dude.
over here on the right and disavow language like this, you should start policing violence on the left. You should start disavowing violence on the left. The day after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, I saw tens, dozens of prominent left-wing political figures, commentators, politicians themselves saying, yeah, it's not a good thing that Charlie Kirk got shot, but...
Hold on. I'm not even going to go as far as like prominent, outspoken people. I'm talking about people on my Facebook friends list that were actively celebrating this, who were telling people, shut the fuck up, he was a white supremacist. This transcends any kind of like prominent influencer behavior. These are regular fucking people, bartenders in Birmingham, Alabama, okay?
He kind of deserved it, but yeah, political violence is...
Right, exactly, EOD. Yeah. They have a sample size of like 800 to 1,200 people on every fucking poll, and they go, well, this represents the entire country. And you could literally do that by telling one person, hey, get 5 friends, and then tell them to get 5 friends, tell them to get 5 friends, tell them to get 5 friends, and then tell them to get 5 friends. And you do that down the line enough. What's up, Nuxus? Welcome in, bro. Good to see you, by the way. EOD, good to see you in chat. Thank you very much. But yeah. I'm talking about like fucking YouGov and Rasmussen and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about a poll that I could put up in YouTube. Smartass. What's up, Nuxus? Good to see you, though, man. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Yeah. But I've never taken a fucking poll. You know what I mean? And I'm 32. I'm literally a third of a century old, right? Like,
not cool, but Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, fascist, white supremacist, racist, so he kind of got what was coming. I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of disavowing, conditional. I saw a lot of conditioned disavowing from the senior ranking members of the Democratic Party, and then just your random leftists, your random Democrats, random people. I saw a lot of people celebrating it. Did you? I see people celebrating it still to this day. Today, President Trump gave Erica Kirk the Medal of Freedom for her deceased husband, Charlie Kirk. Today would have been his 32nd birthday. Rest in peace. Today, of all days, I have seen people on the far left celebrating once again Charlie Kirk's assassination. So on the day that these people are still celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, you also at the same time expect me to disavow a bunch of edgy 21-year-olds? Really? Making jokes that everybody made 15 years ago? Really? I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. James Kluge says, Politico discovers that young men still talk like they're in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare lobby. Yeah. This is how young men talk. Full disclosure, everybody, we've got almost 20,000 people here.
chat. Poll is in the chat. Poll is in the chat. Let me hear what you got to say about polls in the poll, chat.
20, you know what kind of words I was saying? You know what type of jokes I was making? You know the type of words I was saying? These type of words. These type of jokes. That was me when I was 20. I'm a young man. I'm a millennial. I grew up on the internet. Didn't have a lot of parental oversight on the internet because my parents didn't really know how the internet worked. Young man, millennial, young 31-year-old guy. I grew up in these video game chat rooms on all the forums. I said all of these words when I was their age.
Same.
How in the hell can we condemn this? I would bet that everybody here has said these words when they were young. At least
I still say them today sometimes behind closed doors. At least some of them. You know what I mean?
almost everybody. That's just kind of the way that it goes for young men these days, growing up on the internet. And to pretend otherwise, to clutch our pearls, is just
Paige, what's going on? Good to see you in chat. I appreciate seeing you here. Hope you're doing well tonight.
absolute insanity. This guy says, who gives a shit? DC Drano, Big County says, Jay Jones, the Democrat running for Attorney General in Virginia, texted that he wanted to murder people. Like, actually murder them. And this is true. We've all heard about
Paige. Fuck you.
this story for about a week and a half or 2 weeks now. We have all heard this story. And by the way, he is still a candidate for Attorney General of Virginia. He has still not dropped out. In fact, not a single other senior ranking Democrat in the country. You've got Democrat senators that are still endorsing this guy that have not retracted their endorsements. They said, yeah, we know. Yeah, he threatened to kill a bunch of conservative kids. But, you know, he probably didn't mean it. It's just not that big of a deal. So, sorry. I'm not going to do this. This one says, no one cares. Shrieking racist doesn't work like it did 10 years ago.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And it's fucking beautiful to see that. It is fucking beautiful. I'm so glad, dude. I'm so fucking glad. This is like, the world is healing, guys. The world is healing. These scumbags that work for these media companies have lost so much. Oh, yeah. Fuck you too, Paige. But, well, I guess fuck you too as well, right? But, no. These media scumbags have lost so much grip on society. Here's my theory, okay? So people that work in media, and I'm not just talking about like news and shit, right? I'm also talking about music, movies, yeah, all of that, okay? So people who work in these massive media circles, they got comfortable with being able to ride on society and being able to like kind of judge where society was going to go. And I think what happened is they got way too fucking comfortable with that, and they got to the point where they wanted to try and drive the way society would go. And society didn't listen. It did for a little bit, but people have pulled back over the past 4 years, right? Slowly but surely. I think like 2021 was like the peak. And then ever so slowly, society started to pull back away from these massive, like this massive push, this societal push from the media, the societal push from movies and news and music. And people have started to kind of get fatigued on the kind of things that they're pushing. But they keep doubling down and pushing harder. And all that does, when people pull back, instead of going with society, they try to double down and push farther. And what is that like? If someone grabs my wrist and pulls me in a direction, the first thing I do is pull my wrist back. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that. I'm not special because of that, right? That's what most people do. It's the same thing, but on a sociological level, where people in general are pulling their wrist back because they feel that they're being pulled in a way that people don't want them to go in. What up, Charles Darwin? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, so like, it's very obvious that people have tried to pull away from what the media, from the direction that the media has tried to drive society in. And instead of going with that pullback, and trying to move with society, they went in the opposite direction. And they did so by lying, manipulating, and pushing ideas that, frankly, people don't fucking jive with. Not even trying to use old language. Mass immigration, the trans bullshit. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. So now we are seeing the late stages of media's failed attempt at driving society. And there are people who agree with these things that are riding on this wave. And they don't realize the wave's going towards a fucking embankment while everyone else swam to shore. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You know, there's this big report that came out earlier. I couldn't find the link for it, but I'm going to cover it at some point during stream. There was a big report that came out earlier about how the number of people from between the ages of 18 and 29 that identify as trans or like non-binary, genderqueer, all these other little things, they're in like full-fledged fucking like skydive right now. People are identifying as this less and less and less and less and less as it goes on. And this is what I was talking about when I said this is a fucking fad. That's all it is. It's a fashion statement. That's what this is. That's all this is. It's some like unique counterculture thing that people are going to ride on. It's just like the punk movement. It's going to morph into something more moderate, and then it's just going to die out because people are going to look at him and go, that's kind of fucking lame, dude. Which it's already at that point, right? The youth is already pushing back. So, and we're seeing this. Now, obviously not the Young Republicans organization. They're a bunch of fucking bitches. But we're seeing this massive shift in society right now that is pushing against all of this lunacy. Every fucking bit of it, dude. And it's beautiful to see. It's so good to see. And you know, like I said, I'm in the service industry in Birmingham. If you didn't know, Birmingham's a pretty blue city. And most of the people that I work with, my boss fucking hates Trump. Okay? My boss cannot fucking stand Trump. She hates him. I hate that man. You know what I mean? And she's a business owner, right? And the people that I work with are not big fans of Trump. Now, granted, I'm really not right now either, but for a completely different reason. You know, I have my own quarrels with Trump right now, okay? But, I mean, it really just boils down to the fact that he's like a lukewarm conservative that is totally willing to be at the behest of a foreign country. You know? Not technically. So here's the thing. She is the wife of the man that actually owns the business. She's just the one that has everything to do with it, right? So, the man owns 2 other restaurants and the bar that I work in, but he deals with the restaurants and I'm a bartender at the bar. So she just is at the bar mostly because she doesn't know the industry like as like almost at all, but as much, right? So, but that's totally besides the point. Anyway, she fucking hates Trump. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care about politics. He moved here a long time ago from a different country, and he's just trying to live his life. You know what I mean? He's trying to make successful businesses. We'll see what happens, you know, but it is what it is. So, anyway, I'm surrounded by people that like if I were to openly say I support Trump, which, you know, I'm really not even the biggest Trump supporter right now, obviously. But if I were to say that I support Trump out loud with the people that I'm surrounded by every day, I would be fucking ostracized. It is what it is, you know. Now, I don't talk shit about Trump with them. I don't talk politics in the workplace at all. Because, you know, my politics aren't societally accepted right now. And I'm sure, knowing my audience, yours aren't either.
This individual says, now do the Antifa group chats. Take a look at the Antifa group chats. Yeah, I would love to. I wonder how violent those group chats are. I'd be curious. By the way, Vice President J.D. Vance himself chimes in on this entire situation just now. 25 minutes ago, J.D. Vance. He says, this is far worse than anything said in a college group chat, and the guy who said it could become Attorney General of Virginia, Jay Jones. I refuse to join the pearl clutching when powerful people in this country call for political violence. There's our vice president. There's our vice president. Thank you. Because I started this broadcast. I hadn't seen this. I thought maybe.
You know, Paige, you know, it's a really good line that I use a lot in like my public dealings. So when people start to talk about politics, I go, yeah, man, I don't even talk about politics because my opinions piss everybody off. And I fucking mean that. Okay. You know, that's why I'm so glad to have you guys, because I can spout this shit openly whenever the fuck I want. And you guys are still here, and I love you for it. I just want to say that, everybody. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad you guys are here.
Yeah, I was being a little bit too extreme. No, I'm not. I am not being too extreme. I'm not being too callous here. Thank you, JD Vance, for backing me up on this. It's insane the hypocrisy that is going on. Jasmine Keith, I love it when like regular mom is saying this. Breaking, she says, breaking. Young people are making inappropriate and controversial jokes when they think nobody is looking. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's what they do. Yep. I'll tell you guys shouldn't hear the jokes I make in private with my wife. Man, I'd be in big trouble. Listen, I'll tell you what, there's only one person that could really ever cancel me, and that's my wife. If she ever, if she ever goes public with the jokes that we make in private, man, I'd be in hot water. But she makes them too, okay? So it's mutually assured destruction, sweetie, okay? Mike Cernovich here chimes in. He says, young Republicans blowing off steam in immature group texts isn't in the same universe as powerful Democrats fantasizing about killing kids. Couldn't give less of a crap about this nonsense.
Based, Paige. Absolutely. Yeah. So I do want to say this, right? Most of my friends, I don't want to say all of them because it's not all of them, but most of the friends that I make, that I've made since I moved to Birmingham, most of them are left wing. Now, they're not libtards. They're not like psycho far leftists. They just have left wing beliefs and they identify with the left wing more than they do the right wing. And they're my friends. Like, these are people that I can actually have these conversations with, right? And the way that I talk to y'all on camera and in chat is the way that I talk to them when we, like, you know, fucking get drunk and have these conversations. Okay. So they understand where I'm at. That's why we're friends, right? I'm very careful about who I talk about these things to in public because I'm sure none of us are illusion to the fact that a lot of the things that I talk about on this stream are not so society friendly. Okay. That's why I have to resort to people that I trust. And then, YouTube and this community that we've all built together, because that's what it is, right? This isn't a community I've built. This is a community we've all built together. So that's why I'm Jared, what's a y'all? Fuck you, man. I've definitely like gotten my my southern roots with the y'all thing, man. Yeah, that's a good one though. I bet she does get pissed. Yeah. Or I might could do that. That's a big southern phrase down here, brother.
See what I'm saying? Red Eagle Politics on Twitter. He says, what makes the comparison even worse is that Republicans are literally willing to kick college kids to the curb over being edgelords in a private chat, but Democrats will still enthusiastically support Jay Jones' candidacy to lead a state's Justice Department. Like I said, the hypocrisy is...
That's the thing, is these fucks are on our side. Like, we should not give a fuck what the other side thinks about this, but we sure as fuck should give a damn about what people on our side are doing. This organization needs to be fucking disbanded immediately. Immediately. It's absolute horseshit that this is even a fucking conversation. That's wild, bro. Absolutely fucking wild that we're even having this conversation right now.
Absolutely astounding. You know whose video I'm excited for tomorrow? We all know Liberal Hive Mind. I cannot wait for Liberal Hive Mind, one of my favorite YouTubers. He's a good friend of mine, to make a video about this tomorrow afternoon. Because,
by the way, if you haven't checked out Liberal Hive Mind, I definitely recommend. I've been watching that motherfucker for years now, bro. Since like 2022. Like, really good videos this guy puts out. And they can be fucking hilarious sometimes.
he is going to shine a light on the abundant hypocrisy
of the left.
Yeah. Which is what he does best. I'm waiting for the video. Now, I thought it was fitting to bring this up today. He would have turned 32. Is a gentleman. His name is Charlie Kirk. This is what he said about 3.5 years ago. Charlie Kirk said himself, "The left has never played by our rules.
Based.
Only we play by our rules.
Based.
Our rules are what keeps our side from winning." He said, "Our rules are what keeps us from winning. We either want to win or we will lose under some delusion that the rules mean anything at all."
So that was back in 2022. Our rules have fucking changed, and they need to stay changed. And these organizations like the Young Republicans need to get on board with what the new rules are, okay? There's been a big move in the way that we're enforcing things. And if we're going to have someone like Trump in office who really does not give a fuck about the kind of shit that he says in front of people, everyone's going to need to get on board with that. Bottom line. Otherwise, this fucking pussy-ass shit where vile and inexcusable language, disgraceful, unbecoming behavior stands in direct opposition to the values of our movement. Get fucked. Go fuck yourself.
This is Charlie Kirk 3.5 years ago. Charlie Kirk is saying, listen, Republicans, we need to stop neutering ourselves. Listen, Republicans, we need to play to win. We need to stop playing by the rules that the radical left has built for us, that they don't even follow themselves. And you know what? Absolutely true. Absolutely true. We need to stop.
What up, Kat? Welcome in. Thank you for being here tonight. I do appreciate seeing you in chat. Thank you very much.
Stop castrating ourselves. It's 100% true. We just kicked young, up-and-coming, bright, intelligent, young conservatives, 20-somethings, to the curb. Meanwhile, for making just innocuous and totally benign jokes, edgy jokes, as 20-somethings do. Meanwhile, the Democrats are still tooth and nail defending an attorney general nominee in the state of Virginia. He might win the damn thing. Who just a couple weeks ago, his messages got posted publicly. He was He was advocating for the death, for the murder, the brutal murder of young conservative children because they might grow up to be fascists. And the Democrats are still defending this person. So
Jared says, yeah, the language game is something the left plays. The right should only play it insofar as we use it against them, not to fuck ourselves like we did, like that post did. Yeah, 100%. 100%. This is a sword we only need to use against the enemy because they only use that sword against us. They may go at each other and say, hey, you need to apologize for what you say and yada, yada. But they're not going to come to us and ask us for an apology. They're going to come to us and they're going to tell everybody that we're a bunch of fascists and we're Nazis because of the things that we say. With each other, they'll go, wait, hold on, check your privilege. You're going to need to apologize for that. With us, it's immediate bullets. That's the difference between us and them. Okay? So, as far as I'm concerned, fuck this bullshit. Turn the sword on the enemy.
I'm just sick of the hypocrisy. I wanted to go live today and really talk about this entire situation because I see right now everyone on the far left is expecting us to get mad about it. I frankly don't care. I don't care. I really don't care about this at all. Here's my big point. You know, if I can just be honest and blunt here, young men and women in this country have every single reason in the world to kick off the chains of civility and polite discourse. If I'm honest, I think they've got every right to be a little bit edgy and make jokes like this. In fact, there was a guy, you're looking at him right now, Charlie Kirk, who dedicated his life to civility and polite discourse with the left. And they shot him in the neck. They killed him. These freaks that are telling us to moderate our language killed Charlie Kirk a month ago, and they have continued to celebrate it to this very day, even begging for more death.
Yeah, Paige, 100%. And you know what? Honestly, like, I'm really done with this changing of definitions, right? So there's people who I don't remember exactly what post I saw it on, but it was a post I saw. It was either on X or Facebook or whatever that had a picture of Sydney Sweeney and was like, is this really what feminine has become? And it was like, no, that's what feminine has been for all eternity. But the definition changed about 15 years ago. And when the definition changed, people just kind of fell in line with that. But people aren't falling in line with that anymore. And people are moving back to the way we used to view things. So now, things that used to be one word are one word. And fascist is going to go right back to its original definition.
Then the far left, after celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, went on to, as we've talked about today, unabashedly support Virginia State Attorney General candidate. His name is Jay Jones. We've talked about him a lot today, who recently had his own private conversations leaked to the public, in which he was caught explicitly calling for the death and murder of Republican children nationwide because they might grow up to be fascists, which is totally insane. Let's be real here for a second. The young men and women of this country who we are talking about today, they are the topic at hand here, they have frankly had their entire futures stolen from them by a bunch of rootless, Marxist, radically progressive globalists. They are being replaced by never-ending waves of illegal aliens. The keys to this nation have been handed over to a bunch of far-left, radical, progressive, communist globalists and illegal aliens. If you are a young American right this very moment, it has your future is gone. It's incredibly difficult to become successful in this era as a young adult. It has never been more expensive to buy a house or to pay for university education or to buy a car or to afford a stay-at-home mom and raise children.
Base, Charles, yes, 100%. They will. They have already started to destroy society by changing the definitions of words. They and where they failed was one of the most fundamental truths that all of us hold is that men are men and women are women. They tried to change the most fundamental truth. It's a total from the bottom up breakdown of society that they attempted. And it's not working. And we can all pray to God and be grateful and thankful that people rejected it. En masse. Average female debater. That's why I wanted to review that Ryan and Dusty mini debate with you, because that's exactly what happens when they twist the meaning and call me disingenuous. Yeah. I mean, I totally understand. But by the way, Paige, I'm going to stick up for you all the time. Right? You're based. No one can argue that to me. So, at the very least, I'm going to say my piece when something happens in another panel. Just so you know.
Children of your own. Like I said, these young adults, they've got every reason to kick off the chains of civility and say whatever the hell they want. Everything has been robbed. If anything, we should not be condemning these young adults for being a little bit too out there. We should be apologizing to them for not giving them the country that was given to us.
It wasn't given, it was taken, motherfucker, off the sweat of other people. People that I'm not even fucking related to, okay? So if they have an issue with that, fucking cry more, okay? That's all I gotta say. Cry fucking more, all right? I don't have anything else to say on that matter. Like, when another country takes over another country, it seems like people just turn a blind eye. Especially when we're talking about, like, 400 years ago. We're going to go back to 1625. Let's look at all the other countries that got taken over by other countries all throughout history, and then we can condemn them for being such fucking shitheads. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. I'm so tired of it. They fucking lost. Okay? They lost. And it's, by the way, not to go on a side trip here, but I just want to be very clear. Those people were killing each other and cutting each other's fucking hearts out to the tunes of tens of thousands just to open up a temple. And you want to tell me that we eradicated their race? Go fuck yourself. They just stopped doing that when we showed up? Get fucked. Okay? Absolutely get fucked.
Young Americans a country in worse shape than the country that was given to us years and decades ago. We have taken the country, allowed it to become worse, and we're giving it to them. They've got every reason to be pissed off and say some edgy words and be a little bit controversial. It doesn't bother me at all. And then we're expected to sit here and wag our finger at them when they're being a little bit too edgy. I don't think so. I'm not going to do that. Not only am I not going to condemn these young conservatives, I won't even blame them at all whatsoever. Here's what I would say. Once again, I'll pass it back to the progressive left. If you want us to police our speech over here on the right.
Hey, I love that, dude. Yeah. I mean, it works better than this Tito's beanie. You know what I mean? Like all I got right now is alcohol merch because I'm a bartender and we get reps come in and they drop off a swag bag every once in a while. But yeah, that's good shit, Jared. That's good shit. Hey, Jared, you get merch rights if I sell shirts like that. Just saying, bro. Stick around, my friend.
If you want us to condemn speech, they ought to condemn violence. If you want us to police speech, you should police violence. Still to this day, there are far-left domestic terrorists marching in the streets of Chicago and Portland and God knows where else. Nobody is condemning it. In fact, they're saying, it's not really that big of a deal. Still to this day, sanctuary cities and sanctuary states are aiding and abetting radical illegal aliens, many of which are also narco-terrorists. They're not condemning that. They're still offering taxpayer-funded support for them. Listen, young Americans, this generation, they've got every single reason to be pissed off and be edgy and be controversial. I will not condemn it at all, one single bit, which is what the left wants us to do. I think
Not one step back, Scott. Based.
collectively over here on the right, we have to stop playing by their rules. We have to stop playing their games, okay? Because this is the reality. Every single time that they
EOD. Yeah, dude. 100%. I saw that, dude. That was one of the best Tim Pool posts on Twitter that has ever existed, dude. I just want to say, man, I love that, dude. It's fantastic.
they point a finger at us, they've got what, 3, if you count the thumb, 4 fingers pointing back at them. Okay? Every single thing that they could possibly accuse us of doing, they have done 100-fold. We need to stop buckling to them. We need to stand up and say, listen, if you want us to clean our house, which is 1/100th as dirty as your house, you better start cleaning your house first. Worry about your house before you worry about our house. That's what I would say. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, that really is the show. That's the big takeaway of the day. I just wanted to get out here and address this entire story because it is ridiculous. It is hypocritical. It's perhaps one of the most hypocritical things I've seen from the progressive left in a very long time, which is really saying a lot. I want to say thank you, everybody, very much for tuning in today. That is going to be a wrap for the news segment of the show.
Okay, so that's it on that video. I basically have said everything that I need to say about that, right? All while the video was going on and in between me pausing it. Here's the thing, guys. Not one step back means fuck the young Republicans because they took 2 steps back, not just one. All right? They cowered, they tucked tail, and they ran the second any kind of even slightly potential criticism came against people in their movement. Young Republicans can go fuck themselves. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Fake as shit. They probably have some lefty doing fucking PR for them. That's what's happening. They should have fucking stood on what those people said. Yep, sure is. They were just joking. What are you going to do about it? It's harmless. It's that easy. Don't respond like a bunch of bitches and then completely destroy your own movement. Charles Darwin says, question, what would happen if the feds turned up to every single police station and said, leave your weapons and ID and go home? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. All right. So I didn't see all of this. I saw, yeah, right. No shit, EOD. Exactly. I saw a little bit of this. I didn't see all of it. But this was just some fucking queermo liberal who posted this. Because I don't know about y'all or anybody else that's like going through Twitter right now. But no, they wouldn't fight it. They just wouldn't do it. The fuck's the feds gonna do? Pull guns on them? It's not gonna happen. But so I don't know about y'all, but on X and or Twitter or whatever, I have been inundated with leftist accounts that are like, my For You page is literally like 60% liberals, 40% conservative. It's fucking wild. Okay. So this was something, I saw a little bit of this, and I feel like I'm just going to fucking tear this piece of shit apart. Because he's such a retard, dude. I don't understand how people are this fucking dumb.
The United States has no trade deals. There is no lasting peace right now between Israel and Gaza. This is like the framework of
Well,
one.
actually, America does have a lot of new trade deals with
We have
countries.
none.
Well, actually, it has a lot that
Zero.
it's signed. No, that's not true.
It's true.
It's
we
not
have zero.
true.
It's absolutely true.
Well, the UK, you're sitting in the United Kingdom. We have a trade
You
deal.
do not have a trade deal.
Yes,
you have,
we do.
No, there is no trade deal. These things are not one page signed and posted on Twitter. They're extensive things that encompass entire markets and have tons of writing for it. Like, there's no trade deal.
We have agreed a 10% tariff on UK products to the United States. That is a trade
That's
deal.
not a trade deal. That's
What
an
is
entry
it?
on an Excel spreadsheet. A trade deal is a comprehensive market-encompassing thing that actually dictates terms that you can rely on for, decades to come. It's not a thing that can change on a whim.
So then why does every single trade deal we have, why is it something that can change on a whim? He's the most disingenuous retard on the internet. He literally knows fucking nothing about any of this. See, and that's the thing, right? It's these establishment cockriders like this piece of shit right here. These people who think that, well, if the government really, really does something, that it's something that's going to stick. Show me one thing that has lasted more than 10 years aside from the money that we send to fucking Israel that hasn't been able to be changed with the changing of a president. One fucking thing.
Do you dispute that Trump has managed to negotiate a series of deals with countries which are, in terms of tariffs, more advantageous now to America than they were in January?
No, they're not advantageous. They're hurting the economy in every measurable way.
Except they're not. The economy's gotten better. We've had trillions of dollars of investment from other countries and companies moving back into America. What up, Gas Mask? Good to see you, man. Welcome in, dude. Welcome in. So, here's the thing with Destiny, right? He's become such a... He's become so irrelevant to everyone but the people that are consistently in his audience. He doesn't grow his audience at all. He's had like 850,000 subscribers for like a year and a half now. And as time goes on, I mean, if you look at his view counts, this dude used to get 400,000 to 500,000 views on every video. There was a point in time, I want to be very clear here. There was a point in time where I actually took things that he would say somewhat seriously, because there were things that he would say that were actually well thought out, and it was like, that's an interesting perspective on the matter. That's gone. That's all gone. Now it is just the most pathetic cope I've ever seen. It's so wild to me that he still just jabbers on because he knows no matter what he says, his audience is going to back him. He's just like Hassan. All of these people, Hassan on the way out, Destiny on the way out, and all of their orbiters are on the way out. People aren't wanting to hear this anymore. The societal needle is shifting. And he may say, no, it's not. That's crazy. No, how do you believe that? That's ridiculous. Yada, yada, yada. You can watch it happen in real time. Okay? We're seeing the societal shift happen right in front of us. And it's glorious. What I think it is he's so upset that he got everything so fucking wrong that he has to compensate by gaslighting his audience instead of just coming clean. But now that he's had drama with Pixie where he was releasing porn that he had made with her privately without asking for her permission, or when he, openly admitted to having CSAM on his computer. No, Charles Darwin, 100%, and I stand by that. Oh wait, no, you were talking to EOD. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, no, I mean that's the bottom line of all of this. Is simply he has to gaslight his audience to continue supporting what he supports. because everything he supports is going down the fucking toilet every single day. And he will lie, manipulate, gaslight, everything that he possibly can to maintain a narrative. And I mean, this fucking retard will sit alone on a panel in front of people and continue to say the same shit that, like, nobody else believes. Just so he knows his audience is watching. Because he's not convincing anybody else. He's not convincing any normal, rational people of anything. He lost the plot, right? So he'll go on Twitter and he'll say, you know, all sorts of like crazy edgy shit to get attention. And I mean, that's why he's on this panel right now. You know, like, what's crazy is, like, I don't think he realizes Piers Morgan brings him up. Yeah, Amagad based. Desperation is a stinky cologne. 100%. I don't think he realizes Piers Morgan brings him up as a lolcow. Because anyone... What's up, Avoided Hornet? Good to see you, man. Welcome in, bro. Glad you're here. Anybody who sees this loser on TV... they go, oh, fuck, here's this guy again. That's what he's become. And it's his own damn fault, by the way. No one else did that to him. He did it to him fucking self.
Inflation is up. The amount of taxes now.
Why are stock markets at record highs?
Because the stock market always goes up. It was under record highs under
always go
Obama.
up.
Of course it does.
It didn't go up under Biden. Actually, for 2 years, it didn't make one fucking gain. That's crazy talk, dude. This guy's out of his fucking mind. He's completely lost the plot.
Oh, under every presidency,
when he
it's
launched
higher.
it, the stock markets are higher than they were before he launched the tariff.
Not as high as it should be, but the stock market will tend upwards. That's how the stock market
Yeah,
works.
but this is the thing. It takes time. You know, like Donald Trump is making an effort to do this, and it takes time to come to fruition. I hope.
See, you can only... Here's the thing. When it comes to the tariffs, you can only spread fear about it so much. They're not going anywhere. So within the next year, we're going to see the effect that these things have on the market. We're going to see how all these things play out in the long run. Now, I truly believe long term, it's a great thing for the American economy. And as I've said many times on this stream, I don't think we've felt like the short-term pain of it yet. Sorry, guys, but it's going to be short-term pain. People are going to be mad about it. But I believe that's why they were implemented so early in the presidency. Because by the end of the presidency, these things are all going to, like, we're going to see actual tangible results from all this. Whether good or bad, okay? I'm not saying I'm 150% in the it's going to turn out great for the economy bag. I'm not. But I'm about like 85-90% that it's going to turn out good for the economy. But we're going to see, right? Maybe this is just a way for them to fucking generate more money to send to Israel. I don't know.
That you will be cheering for it to come to fruition, and that Donald Trump is going to realize some of these things that he put into place. Some of these negotiations will go through in a better way. Don't you wish that, Destiny?
I don't know what anybody wants. We're talking about giving the Nobel Peace Prize to a guy who is declaring war on his own cities. I mean, I don't know what
How
the
is he
actual
declaring
goal is
war
for
on his
anything.
own
You know?
cities? You know how-
He didn't declare war on any cities. That's bullshit. See, he's got that like smug, stupid look on his face, but Donald Trump never declared war on any cities. He's just shutting down crime. Anybody who believes otherwise is just like listening to sensationalists like this fucking retard. That's it.
How ridiculous that is.
I do. I agree. It is ridiculous. I'm glad we can agree on that.
You know what's crazy is like
The United States has no trade deal.
that's not even a W clip. And this was posted by one of his fucking lame ass orbiters. Yeah, see it like right here. If they can't change on a whim, then why do they every time a new president gets in office? Absolute bullshit. So I had to give my 2 piece on that. My 2 cents on that, right? It's absolute horseshit. So, like, you got to understand, a guy like Destiny used to actually make good arguments and used to actually have something to say. But now, he will pull whatever shit he can out of his asshole and throw it into the conversation as long as it matches the color. That's it. All right. Nick Sorter. Following an activist judge's orders, DHS is now removing fencing around Ice Broadview near Chicago. This comes just days ahead of mass No King's Day riots. Judicial tyranny is going to end up in ICE agents being killed. National Guard is needed now. No, they're not, dude. If you leave these people at this facility, I'm serious. If you leave these people at this facility, you are fucking retarded, Trump administration. DHS, ICE. You are fucking retarded if you leave anybody at this location. Move them. Unload on the crowds blocking the cars with pepper balls and whatever the fuck you need to get them out of the way and move people to a different location. Bottom line. I mean, that's it. If a judge ordered this, you fucking move them from the location. And you leave the National Guard and the Marines there with actual guns in case they try to storm the facility with no one in it. I mean, I'm to the point with these people. I'm fucking done playing the game, right? I'm done playing the fucking game, dude. This is a fucking game, bro. And I mean, let's be real. That's not going to stop a crowd of people that are trying to storm the place. Seriously. Is it? Does anyone actually believe that's going to stop a bunch of people from storming that facility? There's one man lifting it. No, EOD, I get what you're saying. I don't want blood. I don't want shit to escalate. But if there needs to be a violent de-escalation, there needs to be a violent de-escalation. That's just it. Like, I'm sick and tired of these people already. I really am. There's only one group of people that want the destabilization of our society and our country. And they're the ones who are going to these facilities, blocking cars, throwing piss bottles and bricks. Just end it. That's the thing that makes me so fucking mad about the Trump administration, is that they're too much of pussies to just put this shit to rest. And they could, easily. Fucking easily. I don't want blood, man. I want handcuffs. Federal prosecutions. I want these people in jail. And not to rehabilitate them. To get them out of fucking society. I want them out. Gone. Dude, Trump has been so fucking soft on these people. And they've done nothing but cause problems all year. It is way past time for them to actually fucking do something about this. I'm serious. Throwing bricks, piss bottles at cops, fighting police officers, assaulting federal officers. I'm not saying the protesters, but if they're blocking the cars who are moving people, obstruction of justice, obstruction of, the federal, whatever they're doing. Those are crimes. They're just not doing it. Yeah, EOD, there are a lot of people, but not enough. Not enough. There needs to be more. Because there's a lot more than just 50 to 100 people committing crimes out of these things. I know they think it's cute, and then Hornet, I beg to differ. They don't all get a charge. There's plenty of videos of people doing stuff to cops and then dipping and not getting arrested. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, EOD, you can't rely on the local police. Portland police is fucking useless. Like, he said it himself. This is only happening on like a 2x2 block radius or some shit. And it's been happening for months. And the Portland police couldn't do anything about it. And they've just let it get out of hand for months now. Get fucked. You're crazy. Complete incompetence. Like, that in and of itself, let alone that it's still fucking like going on. Right, 100%. Yeah. But that in and of itself should prove the ineffectiveness of the Portland police. The fact that he said, well, this is just going on in 2 city blocks. And these videos have been happening for months. And it's like, so you couldn't get it under control, you fucking loser? Are you kidding me? That's insane. Absolute L by the Portland police chief. Get your fucking city under control. What are you doing? We've been watching for 5 years now videos of Portland being burned to the ground. 2 hours north of there, Chaz Chop. We all fucking remember what happened with that. I hope so, EOD. I really do. I genuinely, I really do hope so, man. Because I'm so fucking done with all this bullshit, dude. I really am. They just need to put these people down, not in a murder kind of way. They need to put all of these protests down. Stop pussyfooting with these folks. And then just take charge. Yeah, dude, I know. You're right. Portland's been a fucking shithole for years. I know, Jared, exactly, dude. DC, ever since it was federalized, crime is almost non-existent there now. It's insane. Imagine what could happen all over the country, right? Let's just take a page out of their book and instead of defunding their police, reinforce their fucking police with people who will actually do the job. Because Portland police are fucking useless and incompetent. No one said no protesting, Hornet. People can protest all they want. But if they're throwing bricks, piss bottles, fucking fireworks, blocking traffic, interfering with federal actions, obstructing justice, throw them the fuck in jail. There's a difference between protesting and committing a crime, dude. A big difference, right? And I know when you see the 25-second clip of some loser dancing in a blow-up costume out right outside of the fucking Chicago or the Portland ice facility, you think that's what's happening every day. Isn't it interesting how all of the people that were in blow-up costumes are all within the frame of a camera? It's not a representation of what's been going on over there. So, simply, if a judge is going to order them to take down these fences and these walls... Oh, hold on. I don't even know what the... Hold on, let me see what the... Fuck no. 58%! What is wrong with you, chat? Holy shit, dude. That's wild. 58% said polls are not valid. Thought it'd be way higher than that. Here, I actually have a good poll for you. All right, take this one seriously, chat. Take this one seriously. Hey, Scott, thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. God bless you, dude. Thanks for being here tonight. Hope you have a good rest, man. I'll see you tomorrow, dude. God and country. All right. I mean, like, dude, it's crazy to me. Now, well, Hornet, I know, like, me and you, there's things we can agree on. There's things we're going to disagree on. This is going to be one of those things we disagree on. But, like, we have federal agents that are getting shot in the neck. And then, you know, some other fucking loser sits up on an embankment and pops shots at ICE agents and ends up killing 2 illegal immigrants and then hitting another one. Misses every fucking shot. And then the pussy blows his own brains out when he realizes how much he fucked up. So, you know. I don't give a shit about these people anymore. There's a point in time when you just have to put your foot down. It's just crazy, man. Like this is out of hand. People voted for this. This is what people voted for. That was one incident, but it wasn't in Oregon. That means nothing. All right. So, Democrats stormed Speaker Johnson's office demanding swearing in of Arizona Rep-elect Adelita Grijalva, wherever the fuck that name's from. House Democrats protested outside Speaker Mike Johnson's office on October 14th, 2025, which is yesterday, like technically yesterday, calling for the immediate swearing in of Arizona Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva, who won a special election on September 23rd to replace her late father, Raul Grijalva. The delay, exceeding 3 weeks despite certification by Arizona officials, including Governor Katie Hobbs, leaves her district's 800,000 residents unrepresented amid Tropical Storm Priscilla's flood threats and hinders her ability to sign a discharge petition for Jeffrey Epstein's files. Interesting. Republicans cite the government shutdown and procedural issues for the holdup, denying any connection to the Epstein documents. That's pretty fucking convenient, isn't it? I mean, just saying, right? Like, on one hand, I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, there's a government shutdown, so you should probably be protesting your own fucking senator and telling him to vote for the continuing resolution to open up the government so they can swear this bitch in. I don't know anyone that's ever been sworn in under a government shutdown. It's pretty fucking clear to me, right? Oh, here we go. Okay, hold on. Wait. Damn it. This was updated 7 minutes ago. Los Angeles County declares emergency over intensified ice raids. Los Angeles County supervisors voted 4-1 on Tuesday to declare a state of emergency. Oh my God. In response to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement raids that have resulted in hundreds of arrests since early October. The declaration enables access to resources for rent relief, legal aid, and potential eviction moratoriums to mitigate economic disruptions in immigrant communities and businesses. Federal officials condemned the action as undermining law enforcement, while Governor Gavin Newsom endorsed it as a safeguard against federal overreach. It ain't gonna do shit. It ain't gonna do shit. They're pulling everything. They signed a bill banning face coverings from federal officers. That literally means jack shit because they don't have any jurisdiction over federal agents. It's insane. They will literally do fucking anything, bro. This is non-news. This is non-fucking news. Okay? How does this shit even like... How does this even get on like the news section? Oh, here we go. Minnesota hearing exposes non-citizen voting via driver's licenses. Here's a good one. Remember Minnesota Care? And what was her name? Melissa, whatever, the lady that got popped by that dude after 2 days after she voted against illegal immigrants getting health care in Minnesota. A Minnesota legislative hearing on October 14th, which was yesterday, revealed that 2023 driver's licenses for all law allows non-citizens to obtain licenses usable as voter ID, enabling registration and voting through citizenship affirmations without initial proof. Officials from Secretary of State Steve Simon's office, including Elections Director Paul Linnell, testified that safeguards like database cross-checks and post-election audits detect and prosecute fraud with non-citizen voting rates below 0.01% in recent audits. The session, led by Republican State Representative Patty Anderson, prompted conservative criticism over Governor Tim Walz's policy and calls for stricter verification before the 2026 midterms. They fucking better.
A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
So we give driver's licenses to anyone here. You don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to, which is a photo ID. So if someone comes in, they register, they have the driver's license, but they have an incorrect social or no social or whatever. So then they become incomplete. But if they walk in to vote with their driver's license, does that make them all of a sudden now okay?
Mr. Linnell.
Madam Chair, so the designation on the roster.
Notice how he didn't say yes or no. I mean, it's like, let me not answer in a big obfuscation, right?
For someone whose registration had been incomplete, if they present the election judge with that acceptable identification document, that would clear the challenge from the roster, and they would.
Based, exactly, EOD. It is, I mean, it is unconstitutional. It is. But these fucking people don't give a shit about the Constitution anymore.
Be permitted to cast a ballot.
Mr. Anderson.
Well, okay, there's your problem potentially. So thank you.
So just to clarify, someone who is.
Does that make them?
Listen to his answer again.
Okay.
Mr. Linnell.
Madam Chair, so the designation on the roster for someone whose registration had been incomplete, if they present the election judge with that acceptable identification document that would clear the challenge from the roster and they would be permitted to cast a ballot.
Proposition for the 28th Amendment. Only citizens of the United States should receive federally approved forms of identification valid in a federal election. Based, yeah. 100%. Only natural-born citizens, by the way. And all others should have a designation that they are not a citizen of the country. I totally fucking agree, bro. I totally agree.
Anderson?
Well, okay, there's your problem.
Yeah.
Actually, so thank you.
So just to clarify, someone who is not a citizen but presents a driver's license at that point in the process could be permitted to vote?
Madam Chair, at the time of registration, as well as at the time of submitting a ballot, every voter is signing the attestation affirming their eligibility to vote, including that they meet all eligibility requirements, that they are a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I'm totally sure. And we've already proven that there's people who are voting on the ballots that are not U.S. citizens. So you mean to tell me that there are people who are voting that aren't U.S. citizens, and they're supposed to uphold that aspect of our constitutional republic, but instead what we get is them telling us, well, it's just not that many. See, because remember what they were saying 5 years ago, well, I guess, a little under 5 years ago, whatever, is that nobody who is not a citizen can vote. Now, it's not that many. See how it changes? By the way, guys, free Palestine. I don't know if you guys have seen this, right? But Palestine is free to execute their own people out in the streets. They're free to do it again. Free Palestine, guys.
A graphic video has shown Hamas fighters conducting a public execution of alleged Israeli collaborators. The footage here shows Hamas gunmen lining up 7 men in a public square and shooting them from behind. Hamas confirmed the authenticity of the video. The group told Reuters they will not be tolerating any violations of order in Gaza. Palestinian security sources say dozens of people have been killed in
order. Order.
Clashes between Hamas fighters and rival tribal groups in recent days.
Depends on what level you want to go down to, but you've got Hamas and allied groups who are, if you like, of an Islamist stamp. You've also got non-Islamist hardline Palestinians who reject any accommodation with Israel. And then you've got some groups who are not allied with Hamas. And then you've got clans and families. In many cases, those people are against Hamas as well.
So what you got there is a power vacuum. We've seen this before. Joining us live on our Wednesday morning is our panel with 2 men with experience in intelligence communities in Canberra.
I wouldn't require the naturally born citizen qualifier if you've made it through our naturalization process. That's valid. That's 10 years of residence, at least. Now, don't get me wrong, asylum seekers who haven't been heard, illegal immigrants, deport them, but people on visas who are seeking citizenship the legal way, I've got no issue. I mean, they still, they need to have some, people who are not citizens, who are, naturalized citizens, maybe not naturally born, I'll concede that, but, people who are not naturalized citizens of the United States, they need to have some kind of identifier on their identification. This is not a citizen. Visa expires here. And that's driver's licenses, IDs, paperwork, everything. That's the bottom line. And if you don't have your paperwork, you should take your fucking paperwork with you everywhere. That should be something that they should say. You need to have this piece of paperwork with you everywhere you go. It's like an ID, right? If you don't fucking have this everywhere you go and you get pulled over, you're gonna get fucking deported on the spot. What's up, K2? Why do you keep saying lower class? What's up? Oh, I don't think anybody that isn't like an actual citizen here should vote. Yeah. What, K2? What's up? All right, I'm going to keep going.
Labor MP Julian Hill, Liberal MP Philip Thompson. Good morning to you both. So, Julian, I'll start with you here. How concerned are you about?
I'm not opening the chat up. I'm not opening a Discord up tonight. I'm just gonna fucking spout my opinions and that's it. Sorry, guys.
A war, if you like, within a war.
A war within a war, Pete?
A war within a war. You've got a war within a war. If you want me to spell it out, you've got a small kind of civil war between these rival groups in Gaza now. That small picture, while you've got the bigger war, which Donald Trump now has conceded is over.
Happy to comment on that. I thought you were talking about the coalition and the Liberal Party and their civil war. Look, that video is disgusting and it reinforces the position the government's taken. To list Hamas as a terrorist group and make clear that they can have no role in the future governance of a Palestinian state.
Philip, as someone who knows a bit about warfare, what do you make of this power vacuum?
Well, it's quite concerning, and hearing from President Trump earlier saying that if Hamas doesn't,
I'm pissed off, and like, I'm just seeing how fucking cucked this young Republicans organization, dude. They need to get fucked for real. Like no one should ever support them monetarily ever again on the right. That's a leftist organization as far as I'm concerned. They can go fuck themselves. What those kids said in those group chats was nothing. It's just crazy to me. We do not need to become like these fucking people, dude. Bottom line.
he'll disarm them. It is very concerning to see that there is conflict that is bubbled over again and executions happening. We should be keeping a close eye on it, because if it isn't controlled, it will explode into militia-style conflict throughout the region. It's something that we don't want to see.
Oh, sorry. What were we saying, K2? I wasn't asking for a link. I'm trying to talk to you about the foreigners with CDLs. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. Yeah. I mean, the whole fucking reason I'm not making $100,000 a year this year is because of some fucking Singh from over in, you know, Bangladesh or some shit that came over here and stole a bunch of shit out of the truck. That's the whole reason I'm not making $100,000 this year. Like, the bottom fell out of my life because some piece of shit stole some proprietary stuff that he can't sell to anybody. I was under contract and an NDA for this. Not anymore, because I don't fucking work for the company. We were bringing in, it was proprietary wire harnesses for Tesla cars. They were coming in from China into LAX, going from LAX up to Livermore, California to the Tesla factory. That's what happened. And some fucking Jeet who was driving the truck decided to steal the shit that was in the truck. Can't sell it to fucking anybody. No one. So I lose my customer. My customer loses their customer, which was Tesla. And now all of us are out of money. And if they ever find this fucking, these boxes full of wiring harnesses that nobody else can use except for Tesla, they're going to prison. So everyone fucking loses.
especially in times of peace talking.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we'd be facing if we went in with peacekeeping troops. John O'Duniam supported that yesterday. If we were asked, big caveat there, would you support that, Philip, peacekeeping troops to Gaza?
I think it's a bit early right now to be talking about setting Australians as peacekeepers, especially since we're only now seeing the release of hostages. Not all of the bodies of the hostages have been released.
They're not going to. Like, look, here's the thing. They burned the fucking bodies, okay? They burned them. They viciously raped and murdered the women. What's up, Joseph Romano? Good to see you, man. I mean, they could, but like, so the price of, what is it, AAA copper or AA copper, whatever it is, that is in these wiring harnesses, probably not even that high quality. It's coming from China, so it's probably like single A copper, right? Is not going to be worth the amount of money. Like, these were 2,000 pounds. No, it was like 4,000 pounds, roughly. So, I mean, they could strip all the copper out of them, but that's immediately going to raise a red flag. So, I don't know. Maybe. You have a point there, Joseph, for sure. Yeah. Because they ain't making shit otherwise.
It's still in turmoil and conflict and things like that. It will put people in danger. And if you're going over to be a peacekeeper, it's not supposed to be in a kinetic role. You're not supposed to be gunfighting. You're supposed to be there to make sure that the peace is stable and happening with linking backs to the nation, the UN, the US. I don't think...
But hey, guys, free Palestine. They're totally free to kill their own people in the streets again.
We're there yet because of these public executions. If Australians were there now, it would be a kinetic fight and it would draw in every other nation. So I think we've got to watch this from a distance, but also make sure that we're standing closely with our allies in the US and the UK and offer support where they think it's needed. But right now, you'd be in a gunfight.
How would you feel about peacekeepers, Julian?
I mean, the government would consider any requests for contributions to international efforts in the normal way.
Hey, hold on real quick, guys. I'm going to grab some water.
I'll make one point. I've said for years, I think on your show, Pete, in forums and elsewhere, that my view about this decades-old conflict is that it will only end when the world sets limits to the conflict and intervenes collectively to guarantee the security of the State of Israel and the Palestinian state.
Let's get now to that topic that Julian just referred to. So I'll go back to you, Phil, because James Passon, he's joining us in the show in about 15 minutes, but he wants to stop the election post-mortem. He wants to move on, to get back to fighting the government. But is your infighting over with?
I hope so. What I want to see for the Liberal parties to be a good opposition that can hold the government to account, that can have its own policies that we can take to an election. The difference is, though, from the coalition to the Labor Party is we can have discord.
Right. Sorry, I'm not interested in Australian politics. I don't know anything about it. I'm worried about my country right now. All right. So Cash Jordan released another video earlier today. This is one I wanted to go over. He says, illegals cripple Chicago center. ICE Marines ignore mayor and wipe them out.
Chicago's now so overrun with crime, the entire state is collapsing. Oh! Oh, he just broke that window. Oh, he's running. Oh, they're after him. This is ridiculous. Look at all these people filming. And look at how these criminals attack their own state police at the ICE jail. Look at this. Oh. Oh, that person.
I love how they say the whole world is watching. Other countries don't give a fuck about this. And I'll be honest, a lot of foreign countries, at least the people that are actually citizens of those countries, completely fucking agree with what is going on in America right now. Okay? That's why they didn't want any of this to even start happening, because it's had ripple effects around the world. That's why there's riots going on in other countries right now, because they see, holy fuck, we're being overrun by foreign people.
Definitely going to jail. Terrible. Oh, that person's definitely going to jail too.
Yep. Take him in. See? See? Right there. The guy got away. That's what I'm talking about. Crack him over the head a couple times and drag him into a fucking cop car. That's what they need to be doing. This is some soft ass shit. See, Hornet was in here earlier saying, well, those people get charges. Obviously, that guy that just got pulled back by everybody else didn't. Use the fucking batons. You have them for a reason. These people are fucking lunatics, dude.
Wait, he slipped back into the crowd, which is what this guy tries to do as ICE attempts to load him into this truck. This guy's getting deported. Wow.
Get in the fucking car.
He is fighting.
Women should not be in ICE. Change my mind.
He is fighting. He does not want to go in. And what's crazy is the activists are making it worse. They're telling the police, or ICE rather, that what they're doing is wrong. And they're yelling at them, and they're getting in their faces. And that's forcing people to try and resist. This whole scene gets 10 times worse in about 3 seconds. Oh, see? Oh, taser. Oh, that taser's on. They're telling them to cooperate or they're going to get tased.
Bye-bye.
Oh, there goes that taser. These guys have been told multiple times that they have to go with ICE and get in.
Based, are we not, men? They should not be. If you can't lift a man on your own, you should not be a first responder. I 100% agree. If you need assistance doing these kind of tasks and you're not physically fit enough to do it yourself, you shouldn't be in the role. But this is decades of people advocating for lowering standards so other people can feel useful or do something that they just stomp their feet and want to fucking do. That is where we're at right now. That's got to change. Look, I can't lift up a man on my own when he's having a seizure and needs to be transported to an ambulance. So I shouldn't be a fucking first responder. I'm not changing the rules to fit my own narrative. That's just how they should fucking be.
To the vehicle. Look at this guy. He's under the car now. He thinks that if he's under the car, he won't have to go in the car.
I'm asking a question. I'm not that close to you. Do you guys have a warrant?
Do you have a warrant? They don't need a warrant.
I am back.
Okay, so now he's brought the taser over here and they're telling this gentleman, look, we don't want to have to do this. All right. This is so ridiculous.
Okay, ladies, stand back and let the men do the work. What are you even fucking here for? I'm sorry.
This is made
I'm not
10
sorry,
times
actually.
worse by these sanctuary mobs that tell these folks to fight back and resist. Okay, he's still fighting. Oh, taser's on.
Get him!
Is he gonna make him tase him? Don't do it, dude. Just get in the car. Wow.
See, and this guy right here leaning over the dude, fucking pick him up and throw him in the back of the car. What are you doing? You're not taking him to a hospital.
This is crazy. It doesn't look like he's getting in the car willingly. He still has to.
I have no idea, Joseph. I have no
Is
idea.
it like a magazine? Yep. Oh, taser's on again. Why? Like, all that, you could have just got in the car. Now look, they got to split. They got to get out of there fast. But if you think that's bad, look at who else is out there fighting with federal agents.
What's your name? What's your name?
Debbie Brockman, I work for WGN. Let them know.
I got you. Yep. Debbie Browning?
Brockman.
Brockman, WGN. Do you guys want to share your names too, or?
Okay, so the backstory on this is she was throwing shit at the police, and that is why she got arrested. She wasn't arrested for being a journalist that works for whatever fucking news organization she works for. She was arrested because she was throwing shit at police officers.
I'm just gonna cover your face.
All right, so they got her in the van. She went in peacefully. Oh. Are they going to attack the officers here again? Oh, this gets really interesting. Look, they're being blocked. Their vehicle's being blocked by activists. Watch. Look.
Run them over.
These activists are about to find out. Watch this.
Bye-bye.
That was preventable.
Yeah.
You could have moved your car. Now it looks like that.
Yeah.
Why? For what? For what? They made a lawful arrest of somebody who assaulted them, and you interfered. Brand new vehicle. Stupid. Oh, here's a. Is this an instant replay? This is angle 2.
Bye-bye.
Angle 2. Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah, that muffler is done. That ain't gonna buff out. Someone's very upset. Okay, so someone is in this vehicle, and they're being removed from the vehicle.
Wait, you guys came to the school to do this?
Yep, sure did.
They haven't asked for a warrant. My name is Jocelyn.
So they have these minivans, I believe, because they're acting undercover. And in order for them to catch people like Screamy McScream over here, they're going to need to do it in a way that they're not going to expect it until the last second, right? It's the only thing I can expect. Well, so yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly, EOD. Yeah.
From Cicero, they don't have a warrant. They didn't ask for one. They forcefully opened the door of the truck.
There's probably somebody in the car.
You don't need a warrant if you're illegal. That's their fucking job, is to take you in. Like, if they have probable cause to throw you in a detention center for being an illegal immigrant, the warrant's already out the door, right? Right, EOD, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, if you have a truck that says ICE Border Patrol on the sides, people are going to go, oh, well, time to go, versus the minivan pulls up next to you and fucking 5 dudes in masks jump out and drag you out of your car. You're not going to expect that as much, right? So, 100%, I agree.
Who's illegal? They wouldn't cooperate.
They forced us out of the car. They were following us.
Yep.
So there's a wanted fugitive
Bye-bye.
in the car that ICE had to track down. That's why they were following them. At least these people are not fighting back anymore.
Nope. They're just screaming and crying. Boo-hoo, as Black Conservative Perspective puts it, they're boo-hoo, whining and crying. Bye-bye. Okay.
I know I'm okay, but I'm worried about other people.
No, you're not. You're worried about making yourself feel better.
Yep, based.
You're not worried about other people. If you were worried about other people, you'd close the border. Help fix our country.
Yeah!
You'd want a secure border. You'd want law and order.
Bro, Cash Jordan's based.
My question?
Nope.
Like, what? Were they coming to get a child?
These activists are so ridiculous, man. Everything about them is ridiculous.
I'm just a little bit confused.
We know that. And the thing that's really confusing about these people is they don't understand any of the harm that illegal immigration is doing to their city. Do these people really think that anyone should just be able to walk into the country without us?
Yeah, Jared, BCP is fucking awesome, dude.
Knowing who they are or what their plans might be, or what their past is, or whether or not they're a criminal? Do these people really think that? They must, because look at this construction raid. They got a couple of guys here that were hanging out by this wood chipper. Oh, get back. Oh, they got the activist t-shirts.
Crack them, dude. Crack them.
This is bad situation.
Crack that bitch. What the fuck are you doing?
But at least the people getting arrested are not as bad as the activists.
Spray them.
Oh, I hear a taser. Okay. Oh, that guy's got his taser. Wow. This is the Wild West, man. What a terrible place. Illinois, sanctuary state, whole place is disaster. But it's less of a disaster now that 2 more people were safely taken into custody. ICE doesn't want these battles with these activists, but they're forced to altercate with the general public because this is a sanctuary state that won't let ICE into the jail when half of these gang members and criminals are arrested for doing.
Are we not men? That's amazing, dude. Absolutely based, bro. Hell yeah.
Something they shouldn't have been doing. The safest place to get a criminal is in the safety of a jail when they're disarmed. But nope, gotta find them on the street when they're surrounded by aggressive sanctuary rioters.
From our city. And the reason that they want to keep them here is because illegal immigration is big business in the city of Chicago.
Oh, is it?
The state of Illinois has spent $2 billion on their health care. Someone's paying for them to live. Someone's paying for them to eat. Someone's paying their lights, gas, and water. And then someone's getting paid to oversee that entire process.
Yep.
If the president is successful in getting them.
The entire illegal immigration situation in these sanctuaries is a massive grift. Look at all the businesses she just mentioned.
Well, see, so Paige, like 100%, I know where you're going with that. Like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, the thing is, it's totally fine to do things as long as they don't see any consequences, it doesn't affect them directly, or they can feel better about themselves or get external validation from the people around them for simply believing and saying something. Be damned with the consequences of other people who actually have to see the results of those policies. Be damned how they feel or how they're affected by it.
That are getting rich off all of this. All the food providers, all the housing providers, the healthcare companies, and all the people that oversee this sanctuary industrial complex. Everyone's making money, and that money's getting pulled out of the pockets of these activists who are so brainwashed, they're out there fighting ICE to keep this whole machine of exploitation going, which just tempts other criminals who haven't entered our country yet to come and try to make their way to a place like Chicago where they'll be protected and where the locals will fall down in front of federal troops just so that they can stay here continually breaking our immigration laws.
So if you're wondering when scenes like these end, the answer is we have no idea. So this was from over the weekend. You had scenes in Portland and scenes in Chicago, sparking a legal battle now and prompting Democratic leaders to renew resistance on the administration. Mike Tobin is in Broadview, Illinois, to give us the lowdown on where we are today on this.
The fence that went up as protesters gathered here at the ICE processing facility in Broadview, Illinois, has now until midnight tonight when a court order says it needs to come down. A U.S. District Court determined that the fence went up on municipal land. It blocks a public street that prevents fire trucks and ambulances from getting through in the event of an emergency. So the chief of police said yesterday the fence is going to be replaced with a gate operated by local police so they can control when it opens and closes, and the police presence is also intended to keep protesters from getting across.
Why do we want to remove protections for federal agents who have to go to a war zone to do their job? That's so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
So fucking move them. If they want to play by a specific set of rules, play by a different one. They are in federal custody. Move them out of state. Expedite the process. Didn't they just build like a massive immigrant camp down in the Everglades for this specific purpose? Why are they pussyfooting around about this? Get them the fuck out. It makes... I just don't understand any of it. And if anyone gets in the way and they try to block the truck, you gas it. Fuck them.
It's also intended to keep protesters from getting across.
Okay.
Barriers have been placed on the southwest side of the ICE facility where the local officials say protesters could wander into traffic. This area where I'm now on Beach Street on the northwest side is intended to be a protest zone, but even the Democrat mayor acknowledges that these protests get out of control.
Yeah, they sure do.
There have been far too many protesters raising their fists instead of their voices, creating chaos at the expense of those who live here. Our residents do not have the privilege to retreat to quiet neighborhoods once the cameras are gone.
Right.
They live here, they work here, and they deserve peace.
So, this is the mayor of Broadview, Illinois. It's right outside Chicago, and it is where the ICE deportation jail is, where all the rioting is going on. And she sounds very different than the radical mayor of Chicago. At least she's blaming the protesters. This is the first I've heard of any politician in Chicago blaming the protesters for anything.
And she's a Democrat. No, it is 100% EOD. No, nobody wants you guys. I want to be very, very clear. If I was president, things would be a lot different. You don't want to vote for me. But this lady that we were just hearing from, she sounds like a really good fucking mayor. I would love to see the ICE shit happen here. It's not. Like, Birmingham is not a sanctuary city. Even though we have, like, a Democrat mayor who is diehard Democrat and he's never going to be anything different, right? If this were to happen here, the protests would be nothing. Promise you. They wouldn't be anywhere near this because Randall Woodfin doesn't fucking put up with riots. That's why you're not seeing a bunch of cameras and stuff around and there being a bunch of shit in Birmingham. I'm pretty sure that if there was a bunch of ICE deportations and stuff happening here, like massive raids and shit, it would just happen and then be over with.
Because the governor of the state won't do it, and the mayor of Chicago certainly won't do it. Finally, we have somebody who comes out and says, you know what? My constituents are being bombarded with lawlessness. Protesters have been imported here to riot and destroy everything, and we're totally sick of it. But the dumbest thing about everything we're watching is that it's all based on the idea that people with no legal right to enter our country are allowed to not only do that, but are then rewarded for it. That's what these activists want. They want there to be...
With our fucking money. They're giving our fucking money. The tax dollars that come out of your check after you work a 40-plus hour week and you bust your ass. Or the taxes that you pay every quarter if you're a business owner. They're given to give a cushion lifestyle to people that shouldn't be here in the fucking first place.
A reward for illegal immigration, because the second you don't deport people, you now have a reward for everybody who's here illegally, because they don't get deported, because they get to stay, because they have a pathway. No, the pathway to legally entering America starts with self-deportation. If it doesn't start with self-deportation, we have no border. People are incentivized to cross the border. And this doesn't do anything great. Notice that every single sanctuary city out there has all of the same problems. They got rampant homelessness. They've got rampant lawlessness. And they have, for some reason, unaffordable housing. Why do they have those things? Well, they don't enforce any of their laws. And because these places are sanctuaries that will harbor unlimited numbers of federal fugitives, if they're not going to go out and build unlimited numbers of houses for everybody, housing costs are going to go up. And you know what? Wages in these places aren't going to also go up to help people afford housing, because now you have a whole bunch of new workers. You've artificially messed up the job market in these places by doubling or tripling the labor supply, and now companies that want to pay as little as possible, they want to pay minimum wage, guess what? They are rewarded.
It's so funny. Sorry to break from the topic at hand. Charlie's not used to me getting all riled up and shit in front of him. So whenever I get all riled up and shit on camera, he gets scared and freaks out. And I feel bad for him because he doesn't understand what's going on. You got to think, he's not hearing anything from this video. He's not hearing anything. He's just hearing me tripping. So say a prayer for Charlie, because he's a scared little boy right now. You know what I mean? I love him to death, man.
By illegal immigration, because now they've got more people who could fill a minimum wage position. And if they don't want to raise that wage so that the person working there could afford to live in Chicago or in New York, they don't have to.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there
Charlie's
are just
my
so many
dog,
workers
yeah.
competing for these jobs that they'll find somebody to take that job. That's why these places are on.
If at any point in the stream you hear snoring, that's Charlie. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%. Are we not, man? Yeah. 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 I mean, dude, we're getting bent over and fucked. And they're telling us that they want more. They want to stick it a couple inches deeper in our assholes. That's what's happening.
Affordable, but the locals living in them, they don't understand. They think ICE is the bad guy. They think that the people who are getting the fugitives out of our country are doing something wrong. They are so used to evil that they are now calling it good. That's what we're witnessing here. What do you think about that? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
All right. What a fucking legend, dude. I love his channel, bro. He's great, man. All right, boys. Let's see. We got anything else going on today? What else can we check out here? Is Antifa a bad thing? What a... Oh! Almost said the gamer word, guys. I gotta be careful, man. I gotta be careful. I don't see anything else going on. What is this? Fuck me, dude. I mean, I get it. It's edgy to color your face and draw stuff on you with a fucking marker, but damn, son. Okay. I think that's about it, guys. There's really nothing else to go over. It's like 4 in the morning. Hey, everybody. Thank you all very much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you all listening to me just fucking drone on and shit. Here's what we're going to do. So Abe is still live. So let's go and ghetto raid Abe. Guys, it's a pleasure. Thank you all very much. Yeah. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all for jumping in with me tonight. I always appreciate it. It's always a pleasure having you guys here. Really hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is going to be God and Country. So we're going to be reading the Word. We're going to be getting into everything. Thank you guys again. I love you very much. Always a pleasure. Yeah, thank you for having... And Amagad, thank you again, bro, for the $50. I really appreciate the donos, man. You know, I don't do this for the donos, but they're always appreciated. You know, I just love getting on here and talking with you guys. So please, y'all have a wonderful evening. God bless you guys. And, you know, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Peace.